Maybe we should poke around town a little bit more. Maybe go. Isn't there a tavern kind of by the docks?
There is indeed. You all would understand that there is, was it the Blue Oyster? Blue Clam?
Okay. Are there any other towns we haven't been to so far?
Yeah, I think they're like there's at least one.
I think Bremen and Lonelywood are at this point effectively the last towns for this group.
And then the black cabin is like wandering around somewhere.
I would think Lonelywood would probably be a good place to start around there. After we go check out the tavern, just make sure there's nobody there that may have heard anything.
Sure. Always good for a tavern.
Gotcha. So you all can head on over to the Blue Clam. Moving inside, you will see a gray skinned orc behind the bar. This is a pretty small location with just a couple of tables in the center, central hearth, and a few tables like lined up against the wall opposite the actual bar. And at first, you're not going to see like the orc actually even recognize that anybody has walked in. It is very clearly morning, and he's not necessarily expecting to be taking care of anybody. But eventually, as he's kind of like doing his rounds, opening things up, he just kind of like notices people just standing there and, oh, welcome, friends. Welcome to the Blue Clam. How can I help you? And he's going to reach out his hand and introduce himself as, I am Vernon Brigg. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good morning.
It's good to meet you, friend. My name is Zaps, and my friend here's name is Kansas. We've come with a bit of a query. Maybe pick your brain and see if you know a few things, and to grab some breakfast before we begin our travels.
He's going to like reach up to his head for a moment, and then he kind of looks back down at you. Oh, what questions do you have?
Well, we've heard rumor of a certain cabin in these lands that seems to wander, and my friends and I here have taken an interest in it, and we were wondering if you may have heard any rumor of someone that's seen it, heard of it. Hell, if it's been spotted anywhere nearby.
Not long ago, I had some people coming through here who seemed to be searching for the very same place.
Oh, did they look like us?
It was not you. I don't believe it was you. As far as I know, they left on their way to Lonelywood, but perhaps they did not go there.
Which direction is Lonelywood?
North and west of us here.
I'm gonna pull out a silver piece and just kind of like hold it in my hand, go, well, maybe this will help jog your memory and toss it at him. See if he knows anything else he's not telling us.
He takes the coin and pockets it. Do you all enjoy knucklehead trout? Or would you like a bit of broth? What would you care for breakfast?
You eat fish for breakfast?
We eat fish or nothing. We are in a frozen wasteland where there is no food that grows.
I don't
That's
know.
a good point.
Go ahead.
No, nothing.
Well, I don't know about my friend here, but I'll take a bite to eat quickly before we decide to get on our way. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a snack too.
So he can set you all up with whatever you would care to have. Effectively, whatever your like cost of living is, just subtract a little bit from your coinage. And you all can enjoy, whatever you end up ordering, like a bit of knucklehead trout, just a broth. If you go for like the poorer end, you can have an ale, you can have just some thawed water. Uh, got a lot of options at that point, as long as it's fish, water, or ale.
What's going on, man?
We're having breakfast fish.
The best kinds of fish.
Okay, on that note, I say we take off, and I mean, we've got decent information that somebody else was heading towards Lonelywood, so maybe head that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, to recap things, you all know that the wizard from East Haven was sending people looking for this location, and that's what got him killed. And that's part of what the wizard inside of Bryn Shindar told you all about. That somewhere up here in this northern section is this cabin, and people have been searching for it.
What do you think, Jamie?
Sure, let's trek off into the waste looking for Lonelywood and this black cabin that wanders around.
All right, that's two different things. Lonelywood is an easy place to get to. You guys can follow the lake and effectively a trail to go to Lonelywood, or you can head off towards the wastes and kind of bypass that little bit.
I kind of thought it might be in the direction of Lonelywood. Like, we don't know where it is.
You're not going
Somewhere
to
to the
find it
north,
in
innit?
Lonelywood, though.
Oh, okay.
The wizard killed everybody that he knew who found it to try to hide it. And I feel like I just heard you, Josh. How's it going?
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit there a couple of minutes, didn't want to interrupt.
You want me to run you down what basically happened?
Yeah, if you could for a few minutes, please, yeah.
All right, so basically, talked to the town speaker. He didn't know much about the cabin. Went, took a long rest. So if you need to do that on your character sheet, do that. And we went to the tavern down by the docks and kind of questioned the owner there and asked him if he knew anything. He said there was a group that went to Lonelywood just not too long before us looking for the cabin.
All right, got it. So Lonelywood's a sort of lead then.
No. Lonelywood is not a lead.
But people just went there looking for it, didn't they? Did they say?
It's a secretive thing, though. He specifically says they went off towards Lonelywood, but they could have gone somewhere else. You all know that whoever sent these people killed everybody. It is a secretive thing.
All right, then we got nowhere to go then. So have we got any other quests we could do here? Is there anything else for
You
anyone in the
guys
town?
do know what you're doing. You just have to leave the 10 towns if you are looking for the Black Cabin. Nobody's going to point you to this. It is not an RPG game where you're going to find a little trail that takes you directly to it. You have to put effort into it going into the wilderness.
Well,
Yeah,
all
no,
right then. We'll go to Lonelywood since we know where that is. There's a road. It has a sign. Yep.
That is 100% an option that you have. But going to Lonelywood is not searching for the Black Cabin. That was my point.
Well, is there a place here in Tourmaline that sells rations and shit?
You all can get dried knucklehead trout.
Oh wait, Kansas has good berries. I keep forgetting about that.
Yep. And they taste better than knucklehead trout. So, yeah. Every night, if I haven't used up all my spell slots, then I will make some good berries and we will have them. So we do not have to eat more fish.
Okay, well then at this point, it sounded more like if we're trying to find this cabin, if that's what we want to focus on, then we're just gonna have to take off in a general direction and try to find the damn thing.
So are we heading for Lonelywood or the cabin, which we don't know where it is?
Depends on what we want to do first. I'm down for whatever.
I mean, we know where Lonelywood is, so we might as well go there, finish that out. What are we supposed to be doing there anyway?
The only reason I was going to go there was because of the people that went before us, but like Mara was saying, they're fucking dead, and this is a hidden thing. So
I say we go there.
Josh, what's your take on this, bud?
yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, we haven't got any specific leads on anywhere to start looking, so we may as well just start looking in general. And I think that's as good a place as any.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, so heading off for Lonelywood. Let's have Kansas and Zap roll some survivals.
Is it snowing again?
It's always snowing, Jamie. You are in a desert tundra. It is a permanent Arctic winter. There's no light. It is always dark. It is always cold. It is always snowing. Sometimes it's just not snowing that bad. So as you all leave Tourmaline, under the aurora, probably about like 10ish in the morning, like still kind of early in the day, you can head off into the distance. You have a pretty solid trail to follow. The winds coming off of Kelvin's Cairn and from the Red Glacier are broken up and kind of scattered by the actual wood to the northeast of you all. So you're almost walking underneath the whirl of this wind as it's kind of riding over these trees and into Mare Dualden. And as you all head through and on your way to Lonely Wood, there is a pretty seamless path ahead of you. You don't really have a whole lot of difficulties. Occasionally, on your way into Lonelywood, after about like 3 or 4 hours, you do start to hear like the ring of axes, and you have a solid understanding that they at least have some folk who are effectively lumberjacks, timbers, but basically out in the woods cutting down trees to feed Lonelywood, giving you an idea that you are approaching the town itself. You all have any thoughts before you enter Lonelywood?
It's cold.
Thank you, Kansas. So if you all just continue along the path, you will eventually walk through where the trees, where the path like heads into the trees. And as you all come out from this path, having walked through like the first parts of some housing, you're going to be at the docks. You will see that there are houses to the south of you, there are houses to the north of you, and that you're overlooking Mare Dualden. And again, this is the second place that you've been that the water is actually thawed and is actually lapping up against their docks.
Does it feel warmer?
Nope, still probably about negative 40 degrees.
Well, it looks like it's not frozen over here either then. So must just be this side of the lake.
I agree. So, where should we start?
Well, I guess we should ask around, see if there's usual shit, town speaker, inn, a sort of type of thing. Find a base, and then when we're in the inn, see if we can work out if there's any rumours around here.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, I guess we just follow the water's edge, see if we can see anyone who's willing to maybe talk to us, and ask them for some directions to the speaker's place and any inn they have. Inn or tavern, I'm not fussy.
North or south?
North.
Sure enough, it is.
Roll a perception for me, Faint.
11.
So while you all are kind of like discussing this and looking across the town, you see like a hunched over little figure who's kind of looking around uh, and like steps back into her little house that is off on like the north side, couple 100 feet away from you all. Um, and as far as you can tell, it seems to be that she has that place that is along the longest pier, like on the opposite side of it. So you kind of head over there, and as you all enter, you're going to walk into a small building that is just covered in scrimshander. Everything is bone, and it has these little black carvings into it. There's almost windmills, not windmills, um, shit. Can't think of the idea.
Dream catchers, wind chimes.
Wind chimes, there we go. Like wind chimes of Scrimshander, like hanging from the ceilings. So like she's probably about like three, no, probably like 4.5 feet tall. Like how she's like hunched over, and you can tell that like this place is not built for like anybody taller than her, because you like, yeah, I think it's only Faint has to kind of like walk in between all of these like strings that are holding these pieces of bone. And the whole place is just basically like one big wind chime of all of these things. Um, but this is very familiar to you, at least with your little goat. This place is a Scrimshander merchant, and the little old lady's just kind of behind the counter, and she looks up. She looks up at you, and she kind of unfamiliar with who's walking in. Ah, welcome to the Happy Scrimshander. How is everyone today?
Hey, I'm all right. Thank you very much for asking. How are you?
I'm doing right. Well, it's been many a days since anyone's walked in. I feel like I've hit the lottery.
All right. When was the last time someone walked in here?
Quite a few days.
Was that a local, was it, or were they visitors like us?
Your visitors too? Oh, oh, oh.
Right, you never know. We've been travelling the 10 towns, and some of these 10 towns tend to visit us from time to time.
There's been very few visitors for many years.
Well, no one at all heading up this way. Well, fair enough. Surprising to hear, but that's fair. I see you're selling scrimshaw anyway, or scrimshander, sorry.
That's my business. Our knucklehead trout is quite famous for the wonderful scrimshander we're able to make from it.
Oh, so you made these yourself, did you?
Not all, but most of them. Most of them, yes.
Either come across some of it ourselves, actually, and I'll pull out the scrimshander goat that I've got.
Hey, did you make this yourself?
Nope, did not. Just came upon it on our travels. A reward for some of our hard work.
Oh, that's awfully kind of whoever was able to give that to you.
Yeah, he was dead pleased with the work we did.
I'm surprised you can make these out of trout. Didn't realize they were that big.
It's all in the knucklehead.
Well, miss, have you heard of anything strange going on? Anything troubling the town?
She'll eye you a little waringly real quick and make a wisdom check.
That is a 1 and a 20.
Kind of look over at you and it's a town of thieves, murderers, and rogues. When don't you hear tales and going ons?
Yep, everyone's in 10 towns for a reason. Nothing specific though, nothing strange, no one looking for anything or any trouble, any monsters attacking or people going missing or anything like that.
People go missing on a regular basis. Yes, they do, indeed. Yes. Many people missing.
Were you going out in groups or is that just people that are like gatherers or whatever?
Do you mean people missing from their homes, or did they go somewhere and then not come back?
Yes. All of the above. People go missing on a regular basis. Sometimes it seems like murder. Sometimes you never find the body.
It seems to be, you know, a bit more of a common occurrence here than in some of the other 10 towns, that's for sure. Is that something to do with your donations to Oral or?
It's a regular occurrence in all of the towns. We just have a couple more skilled assassins here than others.
Well, dark and ominous, I like it.
When you say assassins, do you mean actual assassins or something else?
Retired.
Ah, that makes more sense.
I don't think you
She'll
can
reach
call it
out
that.
her hand to you. Kansas, she's reaching out her hand to you.
I'll take her hand and shake it.
Irisky Harrowhill, assassin. If you ever need someone killed, I can make scrimshaw of their bones too.
Wait, these are humanoid bones and not fish bones?
Most of these are still knucklehead trout skulls.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm faint. I'm a bit of an aspiring assassin of my own. And just stand up really straight and sort of hold the collar of my cloak.
That's good, young one. That's good. Everybody has to dream.
Yeah, dream I do. Well, I don't really technically because I don't sleep, but I know what you mean. Yeah. Role playing as
So
a
you
stupid
fail at
character comes
dreaming
easy.
too.
I was just saying, role playing as a stupid character comes way too easily to me. Well, I don't fail at it. It's just not one of my things that I do. I don't do sleep. I'm an elf.
That's good. Whatever you have to tell yourself.
But yeah, but I'm dead sneaky, and um, I I can make invisible daggers that are made out of psychic energy. It's pretty cool.
Tell me more.
I'll just make one shimmering dagger appear in my hand, just a bit like this, and then what I tend to do is I'm not going to do it in here because I don't want to damage anything. But I just I throw them at a target, and it it doesn't even leave a mark, so it's super sneaky, so no one knows what's happened. Just find a dead body and no wounds. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for assassinating people.
That could be useful to prevent yourself from ever having to come to Icewind Dale.
Yeah, well, I came here by choice, so think of that what you will about my character, but I think it's quite telling.
So when you speak about things, you always speak like negatively, like by choice. You mean you were forced to?
Well, not really. I decided it would just be in my best interests, really. I'm guessing you came here because of something to do with your previous career path.
Sometimes you kill the wrong person.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds like a bad mistake.
Only if you get caught.
yeah. What did you get caught because you were staying behind to collect his bones to make scrimshanda things out of?
You ask a lot of questions. Where are you from?
Me? Well, I'm now currently from 10 Towns, but before that, I was from Waterdeep.
You can go now.
All right, great, thank you. But before we do, don't suppose you know if there's an inn or a tavern or something round here?
You can purchase or you can go now.
Got it. You're from Waterdeep too. Don't suppose you know them folks in that other town?
I'm gonna slap Faint with my tail and just kind of look at him.
I may not look like much, but you may find if this conversation goes further that the four of you are still well outmatched. Good day to you. She bows her head a little bit, but never dropping eye contact.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. We're sorry to be a disturbance. Faint, Kansas, I think it's time for us to go.
All right,
Sure.
fair enough. All the best. Lovely to meet you, and great craft work with the bones. I appreciate your art.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Everyone or just faint?
Just faint.
13.
She is going to pull a light crossbow, and as fast as she has it drawn, she fires it, and your wrist is going to get pinned to the wall as your hand is like not pierced, but your mitten is going to be pierced by this actual bow. And there's just like a green ooze that's like stuck to your glove. And the very smell of it is a pungent, kind of like acidic smell. And you're pretty sure that's a pretty horrific poison that was on that bolt. That was on purpose. The next one will not be so kindly placed. Good day to you.
All right, I mean, I was already leaving, but you made your point. All the best.
Stop talking and go.
Right, we'll be leaving now.
I'm grabbing
Stop
Faint.
talking and go.
I'm grabbing Faint by the back of his pants, and I don't care if I have to throw him out that fucking door. We're leaving.
Goodbye. Oh,
Make another dexterity throw.
9.
She shoots another bolt out of the door past you, and it's like just in the moment of it, like it's approaching you, that the steel defender is able to deflect this thing away from you. And again, this lady is an assassin. She almost definitely is from Waterdeep, and you were definitely going into too much detail that you seemed like you were the people hunting her. Probably don't go back to that lady.
oh yeah, I figured as much, but I figured Faint's stupid as shit, so he wouldn't have caught him on.
I'm gonna tap Faint like on it. How tall is Faint, by the way?
He's like 6 foot or something.
All right, I'm gonna tap you on your knee because I'm like 2'6" and just kind of give you the come here gesture. You know, like come down here and talk to me.
I'll bend over. All right, mate.
Friend, I'm going to tell you this just once. Whenever someone mentions they're an assassin, maybe don't spill your guts about being an assassin too. You could have gotten us all killed.
Oh, I just thought we were bonding, making shit out of bones and friendly talk, as we had stuff in common.
Not everyone is friendly. I think it's well past time you learned that.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's not been that many friendly people around here so far, has there?
No, there's not. Stay cordial, stay polite. Keep some things tight to your chest.
I tried to be like cordial and polite in the last place, but I don't know if I went too far with it or not. What did you think? Was I a bit too pompous?
Not pompous, friend. Too honest.
No, I mean with the town speaker in the last place, the half orc guy.
No, if anything, I think I'm the one that pissed him off on that. But that just shows you all the better. Sometimes things slip. Just try to mind your words. I'm gonna take off walking anywhere else besides here.
Roll a
Follow along.
perception check from Zaps. From off where you are, you can see that there is a building to kind of the northeast of you all that has like a rather like open kind of presentation to it. It's got a couple of hearths going, and from that point, you kind of have an idea like that's not just a home, and effectively that's the Lucky Liar on the map. And you guys can at least like see like if somebody's burning two fires, there's at least some reason that they're doing that, and perhaps that's worth checking out.
Let's go that way.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go check that out. Maybe they'll have some good ale. I think I need it after that heart attack.
You think she'll send anyone after us? I mean, we're nobody.
I don't know. but I care
Don't
not
get
to find out.
Yeah, I don't think she's got very many friends. She wasn't that friendly.
Probably has gone a bit cuckoo living up here.
So y'all can head off over there. Uh, as you get closer, it's got like a outside kind of overhang with a little bit of a deck that kind of rounds the like lakeside as well as kind of that southwestern side, both of which are a little bit more protected from the winds, both by the trees and the actual simple direction that the winds are coming out of the northeast here. Inside, you will spot that there are basically like a hearth next to the door, like off to the west of the door on the left side, as well as like a hearth on the opposite side. The bar is on that southeastern side, and then it almost has like an open area in the center with like tables kind of around the edges, and then a few tables are like pushed up kind of like southwest in the building, or my bad, northwest in the building, kind of against the wall. And you can kind of see that, like, maybe that central area is where those tables belong. But as you kind of walk in, you'll see a human at work, and he's got like all like the two different fires going. This place will be very initially kind of like toasty as it is a little bit warmer, and he'll kind of notice you all pretty quick, and you see this black-haired man, and he turns to you all and he's like, "Oh, welcome, welcome, Danae Doddle, welcome to the Lucky Liar." And he's gonna reach his hand out to you in like a big open arm gesture.
Thank you, friend. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mayhaps, do you have ale?
I could definitely set you up with some ales. Three.
Yeah, free would be good. Thank you very much, mate.
We can pay.
That's good. It would be a shame to have to kill you after giving you some ale.
Why would
Yeah.
you kill us?
If you
Well,
don't
Steve,
pay.
I'll explain the business model to you later. You know about the exchange of goods and things. I'm quite the businessman.
And how killing your customers isn't good practice?
If you don't pay, you're not a customer, you're a thief.
It's exactly what I was going to say. You see, you have to actually pay and for the goods for you to be classed as a patron. I
He's
just put
gonna
down a
come back.
say I just put a gold down on the counter.
He's gonna like pause for a moment as he looks to you. What brings you here to Lonelywood, friend?
Well, we've been traveling the 10 towns looking for various different ways we can help people or get up to a bit of adventuring, just exploring, seeing what we can do. And yeah, Lonelywood was sort of next on our list. We've been to, I think, 9 other towns now at this point. So I think this is the ninth.
So
And we thought,
he's gonna
go,
slowly slide that gold coin like towards him, just with like one finger on the table, and he just kind of slowly slides it to him, and he's just watching you. And he'll set down the three ales in his hand, and as he kind of like gets the gold coin between two of his fingers, he's still watching to see like, are you giving this to him? Are you looking for change? Are you looking for information? Like, what kind of reaction is Fate doing as he starts to slide this coin?
I'm letting him do it, but the indication of it's not a bribe, but a tongue loosener is my intention because I want to try and obviously find out what I can about the Black Lodge. Was it Black Lodge? So yeah, I'm not going to let him have it. But I suppose my mannerism is just um, I'll lower the hood so you can see my face, which I know is a bit out of character for me, but I'm just trying to be as the opposite of what I was in the Scrimshander place. Trying to
Definitely
take my
not the same
teachings from
NPC, regardless, though. So,
Zaps.
so he's going to take the coin off the counter. He's looking for information. Then,
Oh yeah.
not all information is this cheap. Often a career to itself. What if you've come to Lonely Wood looking for things to do? Plenty of our people have been getting attacked from time to time. You wouldn't hear word of it from our town speaker. She's afraid for people to hear of what's really happening in these lands.
Not good for
Um,
business.
I'm guessing a man with his ear to the ground like you might not have heard though what the true cause is behind these by any chance.
True causes are rare to know. People getting mauled, horrific wound, and a town speaker who's rushing to do away with their bodies. The fewest amount of witnesses, even so much so that the family is often kept from seeing their recently lost friend.
I'll I'll put both my hands out on top of the bar just so you can see they're empty basically, and I'll lean a little bit and I go, yeah, actually, one of the reasons why we're here in Lonelywood, we believe there might be something magical nearby that people are searching for. It's not just a an item; it's also a kind of location, magical in its nature. So, its location is difficult to ascertain. That's a big word for me. I shouldn't have said that word. And yeah, I think some of these people that go missing might potentially be getting a bit close to what this thing is, if you catch my drift.
So, you're not talking about a moose?
I am not. I'm guessing you are talking about a moose.
What moose?
Chris Moose.
What moose indeed? What are you talking about?
Well, I told you basically everything I know. I'm talking about something magical out there. Certainly not a moose. Are these wounds that you hear about, do they match something to do with a kind of weird moose in any way?
Well, some of the lumberjacks say it's a moose, but nobody ever actually believed them. But you said it's a magical place. That's not a moose.
Very true. Might be the same story, and they're saying something because, well, this is for your own safety as well as our own, really. But anybody who seems to find out too much about this thing seems to find their end quite quickly afterwards.
But what is this thing?
Best if we
Uh,
keep that to ourselves. I'm just gonna cut Faint off real quick.
well, yeah, I was just about to cast psychic whispers and message you both about it, but if you want to just cut me off, that's fine. It's probably just as effective.
Oh, don't start talking about it and stop now.
I don't mean to be rude. It's for your own safety, to be honest with you. I'm new to this town. I don't know how many years there are. That was an ominous laugh. That seems to be a lot of ominous-based behaviour here today.
Everyone's in 10 towns for a reason, friend.
Yep, my favourite saying. I try and say it as often as I can because it's very on the nose and I like it.
So, friend, uh, do you have a general location of where these attacks have been happening? Are they happening in the same area, or have they been happening all throughout the woods?
Tell me about your magical place. I'll tell you about our magical problems.
Alright, tell you what, I'll cast Psychic Whispers on both Kansas and Zapson. Let me just roll for how many hours it's for. So for 4 hours, we're psychically linked, and I'll just say it now in singular, but well, actually, for my character, I'll be saying it to both of them in quick succession after each other. What do we think then? Do we tell him, or I mean, he might have more information for us.
You never
Seems like a
know.
decent person.
He could be involved in the people that are gone already. It's not a great idea for us to be telling people at random. We never know who ended up picking off the last people.
What about this makes Candace say he seems like a good person?
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
know.
Like, we just gotta
Walked into this town and you were immediately told it is thieves, murderers, and fucking criminals.
Yes, but he has
The
a kind.
second
He has a
person we
kind
meet,
smile.
this guy should come off as a vile piece of trash. The moment he heard something interesting from you, he shut his mouth and he is blackmailing you for that information. Why does that seem like a good person?
Yeah, he is not a good dude at all. And I'm saying this just like in character, out of character. I'm not doing the voice though. Don't fucking tell him he could be one of the people that picked off the last ones. And if he finds something that may be valuable, he's probably gonna fucking cut our throats in our sleep.
Looks nicer than those people with the pointy teeth back in the other town.
Just because someone doesn't have obvious red flags doesn't mean that the red flags don't exist.
All right.
As we're psychically connected, I'm gonna look at the bartender, barkeep. I don't know what the hell to call him. Pull out 2 gold coins, hold them kind of underneath my fingers, and go, "Well, all I'm saying is, for a little more information, you can get more coin."
It's not necessary. You're ready to share what my price is. I'll share what you're looking for.
I'm being completely honest with you. I really think that if we tell you, you'll probably get knocked off. So that's the reason why we're not looking to share that. This gesture from my friend here is not just to help protect you, but also to compensate you for any information you may have. This thing we're looking for, it's not really important or impressive or useful or anything. It's just, it's something that we've been quested to find. And it's just something that, for some reason, anybody who gets even remotely close to it or even knows about it seems to get killed. So that's why we're trying to protect you. You seem like a nice guy. And I look at Kansas.
Yeah. See?
I'm gonna start sliding the coins back into my pocket. Well, if you have no interest in coin, friend, I think we may be done here. Thank you for the little bit of information you've provided. And I'm gonna just kind of nudge Faint and psychic whisper to him. I think we should leave. Find somewhere else to rest for the night.
Yeah, if there is somewhere, but well, I suppose there's no harm in looking for somewhere first, right?
Is the mention of a place to stay in that psychic whisper?
Yeah.
So I hope you understand, friend. You know, what we have, very little information we have. It's not worth sharing with you because I don't think it'll help you and it'll put you at risk. So I'm sorry, but we can't just share that with you without putting you in danger.
Yeah, his demeanor's not changing. Like, this person clearly not worried about whatever danger you're talking about.
Because I mean, seems like even people in this town in a position of power are in on it. You know, we've already killed people in this town, so they're obviously somebody who's quite capable. So yeah, clearly not
Who have
somebody you
you
want to.
killed?
Who me? I'll kill fucking loads to be honest with you. Just like pull out a hunk of owlbear meat from a bag. Fucking owlbears, undead frost giants, regular frost giants, hags, goblins, some what are they harpies, kill a few people as well. Actually, we did before. We didn't kill a mammoth though. That was many mammoths. I didn't. Yeah, we didn't kill any mammoths. Um, just loads of shit, mate. Loads, and that's just here in 10 towns. We've only been here a week.
We kill an average of 5 things a day.
I hope
Yeah,
you don't kill anyone I know.
I don't think so. We've only very recently come to this side of the lake. We've actually quite quickly made our way through this side. We spent probably about 6 or 7 days to the south, and down there. Yeah, that was where we would do that. And then we've sort of breezed through this part of the 10 towns. To be honest with you, we haven't spent much time here, so not made much of an impact. Oh, and also just regular giants as well. We killed two of them. Don't suppose I could interest you in a scrimshaw goat.
Like, look it over. I'll give you a gold coin for it.
Yeah, that's mighty generous of you, but yeah, I'm actually quite attached to it. I quite like it. I call him Goaty. It's not from that lady in town, though. Don't she? Didn't make this one.
I'm gonna use the psychic link and just tell Thane. I'm pretty sure he's done talking. I think we should be going for now.
I say psychically back. Yeah, I agree. Maybe we should go into a booth or something a bit secluded, use the psychic whispers, chat to each other, sip our drinks, sort of drink in the area a little bit, and then leave. That way we can have a private conversation and keep our eyes out at the same time. I've gone Australian, mate, at the end. I don't know why.
What?
Good day, mate.
There's still plenty of daylight left. Maybe we go to this speaker's house and see if some of what he says is true.
Yeah, very true, but I've still got 3/4 of a beer left.
Well, we'll let you finish that.
I just silently start very slowly sipping my beer, whilst just occasionally making awkward eye contact with the bar. Keep doing the smile and nod every time he makes eye contact back with me. Just
So you all can remain awkwardly inside of the Lucky Liar while you sip your beers before, whenever you are ready, you can head on out.
I
all
wonder
right.
why they called this place the Lucky Liar. You think they ever tell the truth here?
I feel like in the theme of this place, it's an extremely on the nose name for either that guy or the guy who owned it before him or some shit.
Well, either way, let's try to find the speaker's house and see if she knows anything else, or if we can pull something out of her.
What do you all have in mind for finding the speaker?
We
Oh
could
yeah, shit.
ambush her.
I guess we just sort of wandered the town a bit looking for big buildings because we didn't ask anyone. And I guess if there's anybody walking around out in town, we could just grab them for a second and just ask, basically.
Roll a perception. Jamie, I want you to ask to do stuff because I want you to actually involve yourself,
I
not
thought
just
you
rolling
wanted.
when.
I thought you wanted us all to roll perception.
Why did I roll
I,
performance?
What?
do you have a different perception than your
No,
performance?
it's the
I don't
same.
know if it'll change a
It's the same.
7.
Exact same. I must be more pissed than I realize
Jamie,
already.
my point is I want you to actually like add like what you are thinking, and I will call you for a roll. If I want everybody to make a roll, I usually ask for everyone. But in general, if somebody is describing something, when I say roll this, it's talking to that person still.
Okay.
Because I want you to involve yourself. I want you to tell me what Kansas is doing, and that's when Kansas will get a roll. So leaving the Lucky Liar. Um, yeah, kind of looking around to the north, kind of spying down into that little southern alcove. You don't really see anything in this immediate area showing you signs of people who are actually like wandering around. Most of those houses don't seem to have any smoke coming up out of their chimneys to show you that anybody would be inside. At this point, I think it's more you hear like a low ring of axes from within the forest, and it's more you can wander around if you would like, or you can kind of head into the forest. But at this point, I think the closest group of people in Lonelywood would be going from the sound of people who are chopping lumber inside of the forest. And once again, to remind you guys, does everybody check the quest log? Because you all already have all of the quests for the 10 towns.
BRB checking the quest log.
Beware the dreaded white moose. It attacks loggers and trappers on sight, and the town's best hunters can't seem to catch or kill the beast. They could probably use some help.
Okay, so that's the moose he was on about then. So yeah, so it is a separate thing. Unless it's not. My epic movie voice sounds like faint standard voice.
Because Faint is the epic movie voice.
In a world where one man.
I can't think what movie it is, but that was 100% what I was thinking of.
It's just like that trope, isn't it? That trailers start off with "in a world."
Oh, wait, the jungle one. Um,
What, Jumanji?
No, no, no. You know what movie it is because you're doing the voice from it. Um, shit. If I weren't thinking about it, I would be able to think of it. They've got like Tom Cruise as like a media director, like the big Hollywood guy. It's got an amazing cast. Shit. Holy tip of my tongue. But like Zoolander is one of the stars, and he's got like a 7-part movie that he like is
Oh,
the star of.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. And every single movie is in a world that's covered in fire. Only whatever Zoolander's name is in that movie, like, can help them. And then there's like the one in a world that is frozen over in ice.
I always think of with the movie trope thing. I always think of like the Rob Schneider ones though from South Park. That one's the best one.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not that into South Park. Like, I used to watch it back in the day, but
It's always like Rob Schneider was an ordinary guy until one day he's a carrot and he's about to find out being a carrot ain't so easy. Rob Schneider is a changed person in another person's body in another Rob Schneider film. But yeah, okay. So I've already forgotten. Did we get someone to point us towards the speaker's house?
no, y'all have to choose whether you are going to go into the actual forest and try to ask where you hear lumberjacks, or if you want to just wander around town.
I think we should basically wander town for now. Um, I don't want to go into the forest yet before we know a bit more. Of course, it's still
So you've
daytime.
got a pretty solid idea that it's not, there's nobody else to check on this northern side, unless you want to try to ask somebody in either the Lonely Liar or the Happy Scrimshander, because you never explicitly asked, where's the town speaker?
But yeah, I'll just stick my head in through the lucky lar and go, wait, one thing I forgot to ask. Where's the speaker's house?
Roll a d20.
Hey, I'll be right back. Go ahead and continue without me, but be like 5 minutes.
Before he's actually able to stop himself, he describes the location like in the entry to the town, and then you see as he like slams down his fist, he's like, damn it, what's the
Loose
place
lips.
that you won't talk about?
Loose lips sink ships, mate. All the best. Thank you. Back for a pint later. All right, let's head there then. Although my plan was to ask Zaps and or Jamie to speak for me because of my previous performance in the Happy Scrimshander, but if he's away for a few minutes, then Jamie, it's going to be go time for you. I hope you're ready.
All Jamie here.
To do what?
You're
All the
the
conversing with the
face of the
town speaker.
party.
What?
Yeah, didn't you see? Not Jape. Faint's useless. He just completely fucked up everything in the Happy Scrimshander. So, you know, he can't be trusted to speak to this town speaker. So it's going to be all you. Just the points to remember are: don't speak about anything to do with the Black Lodge. We already know that people go missing. Don't bring that up because we know that. Well, actually, you could bring that up, but don't at all suggest that you know that she could be linked to their disappearances. And if she gets questionable about that, you drop it and you move on straight away. Angle of the whole, we're here to help with anything we can help with, blah, blah, blah. And we've got the moose thing as well. So we could always ask about that. And then if she tells us about places to look for the moose and places to definitely not go to look for the moose, then those are places we need to go.
Sure.
And don't forget to stand up straight.
Right. I'm gonna stand up tall.
Fucking hell, you know as tall as me now. I'm going to
Right.
slouch.
So you're knocking on the door, Jamie?
Sure. I will knock on the door.
So as you walk up to this home and approach the door to knock on it, there's a few moments before you hear from within. Oh, just one moment. I'll be out short. Just give me one moment. The door might actually be unlocked. Just keep it closed. Come in, but keep it closed afterwards. I'll be out 1 minute.
We're going to psychically whisper to Kansas, naked lady.
I will respectfully wait until she opens the door since I have never been here before.
That's all right, because I've never seen a naked lady before.
After a few more minutes, you're going to see as somebody approaches the door and opens it up for you, and you'll see that this person is actually like reaching up over her head to pull the doorknob. Like this is a traditional human house, but you are very quickly going to notice that this is somebody who is about half the height of a human, and she's kind of standing before you all, and very quickly as you start to like see this person in the dim light of the aurora, you will smell fresh baked sugar. That smells like cookies.
Oh,
That is not trout.
that smells really, really good and not at all like fish.
But you
Oh,
love fish.
would you like some knucklehead trout? I can prepare some. I
No,
just
no,
finished
no.
baking some cookies though.
I think I smell cookies and I really would prefer cookies to trout.
What are you talking about? You love trout. You've been going on about how much you love fish this entire journey so far.
I'm gonna kick him.
Oh, I'll definitely make you some trout then. I'll get that started right away. But for now, I've got some fresh baked cookies here, and you can definitely enjoy those.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. I don't like fish myself personally, so that's very kind of you. I'll have her cookies. She can have my fish. Brilliant. I've also got owlbear meat. If you want a bit of that, that would be my gesture towards this feast.
Scoop, Scoop, can you get some trout out? Our new friend. And she's going to look down to Kansas. What's your name, honey? I'm Nimsy.
My name is Kansas. This is my buddy Faint. We're here to help if you have any problems at all.
Scoop, our new friend Kansas wants some trout. If and you'll see as like a young boy kind of like walks by. He also is pretty short, probably about like 3.5 feet tall, and he's got like a it's not like fully frozen, but it's like a clearly like a near frozen fish in hand, and it is definitely larger than Kansas is tall. I'm right
So,
behind you, Mom.
so would we be able to tell what race they are?
Oh, it's pretty clear at that point that they are probably halflings. Well, come on in. You all can have some cookies. And they are halfling shaped cookies. They are very much like their arms are as tall or as long as they are tall. So they almost look like kind of like four pointed stars with like a lump of a head in between the top two arms.
These look adorable. Thank you very much. These are incredible. Did you make these?
I definitely did. Yep.
Well, you're very talented. I'm very impressed. And then I'm going to cycle whisper to Kansas. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm supposed to be quiet. Quiet, faint. Faint's going to be quiet.
We really appreciate these. These are the best we've had.
Is that a mouthful of fish?
Don't
Cookies.
spoil your dinner. We're cooking the trout up right now. Scoop, take the rest of the cookies away from her. She loves trout. Don't ruin her appetite.
Thank you. You're very perceptive to your guests' needs. That's
I'm
a
gonna
very,
start
very
crying.
nice host
I'm
trait.
I'm gonna start crying.
Sorry, she's just so hungry for trout, she becomes overwhelmed with emotion.
It's okay, dear. We can sear it for you and you can have the trout sooner than later.
So, is there anything that you need adventurers to help with? We're very good at fixing problems.
Oh, that's great. What brings you to Lonelywood?
We're traveling around the 10 towns fixing problems. We're good at it.
Very nice. Where have you visited?
Um, we went to Brinchendar and we went to Dugan's Hole and Carrickhonig and Tourmaline. We've gone to most of the 10 towns.
Oh, how delightful. And Lonely Wood's your favorite, isn't it? It's gorgeous up
Yes,
there.
it's very, very scenic.
She's just smiling, like nibbling on a cookie. Oh, Scoop, once you finish with her trout, can you put some water on? We should have some tea with our cookies.
So, uh, just a question, miss. We've heard rumor about some attacks on some of the town folks. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Oh, we have to levy a little bit of a tax, but it's really much more of like kind of for vacationers and people who come here pay more of the tax because of what they have to spend money on. But people
No,
who
no,
live
no,
here, those
no, not pay taxes. We've heard that some people are injured or maybe even killed and never seen again.
yeah, but you have to levy a tax to actually be able to run a town. So what it ends up being is the people who vacation here, when you come and visit, you, like adventurers, have to pay more because you have to pay for your stay. And they'll complain about the tax because they're locals, but really the tax is levied against everybody because it pays for us as a town. But most of the people who are paying it are the visitors.
I psychically whispered to Kansas, "Oh my God, she's talking business. I've never wanted to talk to someone more than right now, but you've got this. You've got this." As a side note, apparently when I'm had a few whiskeys, I can't do a Cockney accent anymore.
Were you ever able to?
Well, to the trained English eye, Jamie, I've been sounding extremely Cockney this entire time, actually.
Aren't you supposed to rhyme or something?
Apples and stairs, apples and pears.
Yup.
Speaker person,
Nimsy.
not, yes. Do you know about people dying?
So when people get really old, eventually your body starts to, well, you move past the prime of your life.
Do you have
And as
any
you
more
get older and,
cookies? Cookies? The cookies were really
oh,
good.
I'm sorry, Kansas. The trout's going to be ready in just one more minute. But when you get older, your body starts to break down, and eventually you're so old that your body just, you kind of give up and you let things go, and that's when people die. Always naturally and always of old age.
I'm
Mimsy,
sort of occasionally twitching.
She looks over at Zaps.
let us both be honest with each other. We know there's something going on in this town, whether you would choose to
There
hide it
isn't.
or not. Whether you would choose to hide it or not, we've heard the rumors and we've seen it. Maybe, perhaps, you should be a little more open with us. We want no harm. We
How
just
could you
wish
see
to help.
something that's not happening?
Can I tell? I'm obviously she's bullshitting, right?
Oh,
100%.
definitely. As psychically, I guess, we determined that the moose thing is a real separate quest line. So the moose attacks are genuine. So as an entry point for you or Kansas, as a conversation starter, you can bring up the fact that we know for a fact that people are getting hurt by a moose.
We know about the moose attacks. Just here to help.
It's no moose. Nobody's ever seen a moose.
Um,
Well,
I understand that moose trample people sometimes when they get angry, the mooses.
and they got them horns and the gore.
I think you all might be on a sugar high. I'm going to take the cookies away and maybe. Scoop, maybe we should save the trout for ourselves. I don't think these are nice people.
That's a shame. I'll be honest with
You
you.
had that right.
You seem absolutely lovely. So I'm sorry if we offended you about this talk. Didn't mean to offend you. This is lovely hospitality, and I, for one, am having a great time. So apologies. If you don't want to talk about stuff that isn't happening, then we could not talk about stuff that's happening.
And I say psychically to the other two, um, we're going to need a different plan of attack, I think. But
I'm
let's not
gonna
get kicked out.
I'm gonna whisper over to Faint, psychic whisper, and be like, I don't think she's budging. I don't think she's gonna be much help. We should probably just try to find it ourselves.
I say back psychically, I agree, but I think that there might be other bits of information we could maybe get out of her in general. Maybe not too useful, but information nonetheless. Let's not turn this down, I don't think.
Whatever you think, friend.
What kind of information do you think you can get from her? She only knows about trout and taxes.
Well, I'm thinking that if she is doing this, it's because somebody's making her do this. So, if we can understand maybe links to other towns, and this is something you'll have to find out, Kansas, because I'm being well behaved and not talking to her and fucking things up like I did in Happy Scrimshander. So is there any links to any of the towns, anything else on the go, that sort of type of stuff? How are they, how are they sustaining this as a town? What's their export? I'm guessing wood based on the lumberjack thing, but I'm wondering if she's supplementing that with bribes from somebody who's making sure that she stops people finding the Black Lodge, things like that of that nature. There's definitely always going to be some information to find, and the longer we're here for, the more hints we can get as to things she might know.
I'm gonna do the same psychic whisper. Friend, I think for once your brutal honesty and openness might do well here. Go nuts.
Oh, I don't know. Have you ever been chased out of town by an angry mob before?
Actually, yes, on several occasions.
Oh, me too. All right. Well, I'll try not to fuck things up too much.
Honestly, I have to say these cookies are delicious. Where did you learn to make these? And again, I appreciate the fish offer, but I just once again like to extend the fact that I've got this owlbear meat. If you prefer something different to fish for a change, we could enjoy this together if you'd like. I also have a very small amount of wolf jerky. It's not as tasty, but I kind of use it to sustain myself on the road. So, if you want a bit, that's fine. But I'm not looking to give you everything because otherwise I'll starve and die. As you mentioned, people perish of natural causes from time to time, and I feel like starvation due to lack of wolf jerky might be one of them things. So I'd like to keep some of that to myself.
She kind of pips up to the natural causes, and she's like, old age.
Yeah, old age is a natural cause, is it not?
Old age.
Sorry, old age. Yes, I might die of old age were I not sustained by the correct balance of nutrients.
Which is all supplied by Knucklehead Trout. And she winks.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna go, but between you and me, I am bloody sick of fish.
Why'd you come to Icewind Dale?
Everyone's in 10 towns for a reason. And my reason is I stole this book. People didn't like that.
And there's a lot of people who don't like thieves.
Oh, I'm not a thief. Well, not anymore.
You
But I
stole a
suppose
book.
yeah, I was going to say, you've got me there. You got me there. On this one occasion, I absolutely was a thief. So I accept that. And that's a mistake I've made. And now I'm here. But yeah, honestly, if you would like someone to sell me, the offer's there. But if not, completely understand. But I have to say, this is a lovely town. I know you see you've got running water as well. That's very well coveted by the other towns. So we're very fortuitous, and I look across the other two to make sure I've said the right word. So you've got
Wait,
the water here.
why do you think they have running water?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said they didn't start. I thought you said the lake wasn't frozen. Eh?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. No, I was thinking you're talking about plumbing.
Oh no, fuck no! What is this like? Yeah, the Middle Ages. Yeah.
Really good magic.
We are quite fortunate that our fleet is still able to take to the water.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's something that is definitely something that can help sustain your town and also potential export for you for other towns. Although they seem to manage to get their own fish, of what I've noticed, it just requires a lot more effort. So you're very fortuitous.
I look again across the other two.
That there's something that you're able to do here, and I appreciate that a lot. Again, it just adds to how wonderful of a town this is.
We're actually out to win the nicest of the 10 towns award for the fourth year running. It will be
Oh,
our 10th.
well, that's very, very impressive. And who imparts that award?
It's a vote by all of the speakers. And we all tend to vote for our own town, so usually it only takes 2 votes.
Oh, very good. I mean, it's a win. A win is a win, and I can see why you win because it's lovely. I mean, you've got some nice places here as well, and also you've got this lovely wood nearby as well, haven't you? I mean, a lot of the towns we've been to are struggling for access to wood, yet you've got this forest right beside your town.
We are quite fortunate in many things, and it's why we win the award over and over again.
Is that why you have a concentration of woodsmen, lumberjacks in this area? Is that part of what you do?
It's certainly a primary function of the town.
Or do you have maybe a certain guild or location where these woodsmen or lumberjacks tend to live, or is that just amongst their own homes and that's sort of a primary employment term for these people here?
She kind of like looks up to the sky a little bit, thinking a little bit. I think about a third of our town is fisher folk, and the rest tend to be out in the woods as lumberjack.
Oh, it must be very impressive then. It's two-thirds of your town. I mean, do you have much trouble with it? Is it the cold something they have to contend with, or is it maybe just something where it's down to a lot of planning on your half, which must be very impressive to maintain sort of crop cycling and maintaining to make sure you don't consume too much wood too fast?
It's hard to crop cycle in 3 years of darkness in an Arctic wasteland. We're cutting down the wood and it will never be replenished.
Well, you never know. If we've come across some magical things in our journeys, there might be something to help you eventually. I mean, we met these little invisible things called chewingers. Yeah, they could help you maybe. Yeah, they sound made up, don't they? I must sound pretty silly bringing them up. So, who'd you just say was the Evertown, sorry, that votes with you?
It varies from time to time, but they're predominantly done anonymously, and it's hard to distinguish who, but every once in a while, a properly placed sugar cookie is perhaps able to be effective.
Oh, I imagine so. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when they're as delicious as these. So, would you say you've got any close links to any of the other 10 towns at all?
Like what are you fishing for here? Close links?
Yeah, so the things I expressed before to in the whisper to Kansas and Zaps was those are basically my primary objectives. I feel as though the niceties are kind of out the way, and this is the point at which I'd start pressing. like a
Yeah,
negotiation.
you guys aren't going to get information from her. This is the mayor from Jaws who is going to watch like 30 people get eaten by a shark before she realizes like that the shark chewing on her leg is actually a problem. That's straight up what this character is it's the mayor from Jaws who's like blocking, denying everything. You guys know what the quest is. Go into the forest and look for the moose.
Right.
All right, cool. But
All
so,
right.
so the last little thing I'd like to try and fish for is location in the woods of the moose, and then any areas in
Nobody
the
knows.
forest.
It's
Okay,
attacking the actual lumberjacks. It's attacking people in the forest. It's attacking people in the city. Nobody knows.
okay. So then the last thing is anywhere in the forest that we shouldn't go to that's too dangerous or that we should avoid.
The place where the moose is killing people.
Cool. Okay, because I was just trying to fish for the location of the Black Lodge based on areas that you telling us not to go. But okay, understood.
No, the Black Lodge again is something that most people do not know about. The fact that it is even like a mythic story for the people of Tourmaline gives you a big clue that it is up here in the north. But that's like it. You guys have to investigate these things, not with the people who don't know about things.
Hey, what do moose eat?
Berries, roots, bushes, pretty much whatever the hell they want to. Moose are huge.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, we could go where there is moose food. I I don't know.
I believe the plural is meese.
I believe I'm going to break your knees.
I mean, straight up, like the whole time, like the lumberjacks, the sound of people chopping wood in the woods. That's where you guys would get clues about this, because they're people who are getting killed by it, and they are not people who are a spy or a murdering assassin or a mayor who's trying to hide it so they can win their award.
I think we should go check out what those lumberjacks are doing. Maybe they've seen a moose.
Yeah, I agree.
I've already given you the information. Just go into the woods and look for the moose.
Yeah,
Go
Okay,
into the woods.
we're gonna go into the woods and look for a moose.
Like your ability to avoid what I am trying to push you towards that actually gets you to the moose is astounding, but the lumberjacks are too late now. I gave you the information.
go find the damn moose.
All right, we're gonna go look for the moose. We're looking for giant moose tracks.
I just feel like sometimes this group is like banging your head against like a concrete pavement, and you're like, where's the tree at? And you're just banging your head against concrete. Where's the forest at? Banging your head against concrete.
So, we're gonna go in the woods and see if there are any moose tracks.
5 minutes later, find the moose.
So, Zaps in Kansas. Let's get some survivals from you.
My streak of rolling low continues.
So I should be able to find the moose and like know all the things that it likes and doesn't like, and the last 5 things it ate and where it came from.
So, you're saying you're crawling around in moose shit right now?
Maybe not.
So while Kansas is deep inside of this like 9 foot tall pile of moose dung that is almost wider than it is tall, in a near perfect pyramid, the other two of you get a strong sense that this moose is a gigantic threat. And Kansas is just swimming. She's just paddling through. It's like, this is very warm. Smells like berries. Smells a little bit minty. That smells like an unshowered woodsman.
That is one great big pile of shit. Sorry, gotta go with the Jeff Goldblum quote.
Oh, that was 100% what I was thinking. That was from Jurassic Park there. So let me have you roll a d6, Kansas.
I rolled a 1.
Gotcha. So as you all push off into the woods, and kind of cross past some lumberjacks who are like nearer to the actual town itself, maybe about 15 or so minutes out of town, and you spot like the first signs of moose tracks here in the actual woods, and they give you something to go after. And after about 2 or 3 hours of walking through the woods and tracking down this path, you are eventually going to come up on a point where you have the moose in front of you. Let me get a perception check from you all.
All right, I don't notice that there's a moose.
Wow.
So Zap says you're kind of like looking off, like while Kansas is tracking these steps. You're the first to spot that off in the distance, about like 80 feet or so away from you all, there is a large brown moose that is kind of just like nudging its face through the snow, just kind of like pushing up the snow, and you can see it's, basically kind of like routing around to search for like little bit of plants. And every few minutes after you push it out and you guys initially watch it, it seems to find something, lift its head, and it's just chewing as it kind of looks around, or it starts to go back down into the dirt, like into the snow, and pushes through again.
I'm gonna see if I can get an animal, like maybe the elk, which isn't an elk a moose.
No, two different animals.
Well, I got a badger. That'll be useful.
Hey man, don't hate on badgers. They got crackhead energy.
All right. Well, should I leave? Should I stick with the badger or try again?
Might help with tracking, but it won't help with fighting.
Uh, don't druids have the speak with animals thing?
Well, yeah, but what are we trying to ask it?
Well, I
He's
mean,
he's talking about the moose in front of you, not your pet.
I know he's talking about the moose, but what are we gonna ask it? Like, don't kill people?
we don't even know that this is the moose. I'm just saying, I mean, we know it's not the moose, obviously, because the fucking quest line said giant white moose. This one's brown.
Oh,
So
right.
Have you murdered anybody lately? I like
have you
berries.
have you seen another larger white moose around? Anything like that before we just go all murder hobo on the poor thing?
I guess so. All right. So,
Chase, thank you for reading, by the way. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, that was Josh. He straight up said it earlier. Big white fucking moose. I don't even know how to get to the quest log thing. I was trying to find it earlier.
oh,
In
just
the journal,
scroll up.
all the way at the bottom.
All right. So I will walk closer to the moose and hope it doesn't decide to tromp over me. And then I will ask it, hey, nice moose. Have you seen a bigger white moose around? We've heard there's been trouble.
Did you cast the spell?
That would probably be helpful. No, I didn't do that.
So it kind of like looks over at you. And it just like moves its head to the side, tilts its head to the other side, and keeps chewing.
Uh, do you know where the mooses like to hang out?
Hey, Kansas, maybe you should offer it a good berry.
Do you want a good berry? Then you could stop eating whatever it is in the snow, which probably isn't as good as this.
Just offer it to it. Just put it in your hand and give it to it.
All right, so I'm gonna hold out a good berry and near the moose's nose. A moose?
Moose, we live in the trees on the snow. And it like will eventually kind of like pick its head up to like smell towards the berry, and it'll kind of move up to you. And what are you doing? Like palm up, berry in your palm?
Yeah, berries in my palm. Palm is up. Holding my arm out.
So as it kind of like moves up to grab the berry, you're gonna feel it's like these big, like strong lips kind of envelop your entire hand. And as it kind of like bites down for the berry, it's going to do 1 piercing damage to you as it bites your hand. And takes the berry and mm,
Um, you weren't supposed to eat me. I didn't. Moose are vegetarians, and I'm a person.
berry.
So, have you seen a big white moose?
Yes,
Where?
in the forest.
Could you point in the direction that you saw it?
It's going to like. Are you pointing right now?
No, I'm asking it to point, like with
It's
its
gonna.
nose or
It's
something.
gonna like look at you.
Did you see it over there? And I will point at the woods.
It's gonna look over there. It's not over there.
Okay, did you see it this way? And I'll point in the opposite direction.
It's gonna look in the opposite direction where you're pointing. I don't see it there.
All right, I'm going to say to Faint psychically, this isn't working.
I think your psychic link's gone. It's 4 hours later. It's well beyond 4 hours later.
Do we,
So
when
you
she's
go to
talking
say,
to sorry, when she's talking to the moose, do we hear her speaking out loud in common, or is it she just going like, moo?
um,
I'm just trying to ascertain
I
if we can
think
hear
I
her
think
side of the
she's
conversation.
probably making moose sounds with it. I think this is probably pretty fucking funny to watch.
I'm just going
Because
to
it
go,
says you comprehend, so the moose definitely still like she just understands what it's trying to say. But it says you verbally communicate with beasts, and that makes me think that like the moose doesn't understand her. She knows how to speak in moose.
all right, got it.
Kansas, I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on, to be honest with you. You've just been sort of making concerning noises for about 30 seconds.
Moo. So, Moose, did you see a white moose today?
Yes. Yes.
Was
today.
it in this direction? And I will point in front of the moose.
It looks in front of the moose. I don't see the moose in that direction.
Where did you come from?
The forest.
Okay, I'm going to give up and go back to the others and say that the moose thinks it saw a white moose today, and so our best shot is to track it backwards.
Yeah, so why don't you ask it and just keep pointing in different directions and say, "Did you come from this way? Did you come?" Until eventually it says, "Yes, I came from that way," and then
Well,
yeah,
I
we're
don't
supposed to
think
hook up.
it doesn't think like that. It doesn't
Kansas,
see
yeah,
a
I think you're
moose.
smart enough to understand that that moose has no idea between seeing something now and like what a direction is. So when you're pointing around, it's looking for the white moose and telling you that the white moose is not right there right now.
All right, let's follow its tracks back to a point at which we see another moose's tracks, and then follow that moose's tracks instead.
Yeah.
Good idea, Jamie.
So roll a survival for me, Jamie. You can have advantage either on your survival check or you can have advantage on the D6. It's up to you.
What's the D6?
You can have advantage on the survival check or you can have advantage on the D6.
I'll
It's up
take the
to you.
survival check since I have a 17. That looks good.
Alrighty, roll a D6.
3.
So you all kind of follow around these moose tracks for a while, and after about another 3 hours, the aurora is starting to give way above you all, and you're starting to recognize that you're now in the darkness of the night, with most of the canopy covering. Um, yeah, it's still a full moon ahead, so the brightness doesn't really change, only that it's no longer like a shimmering of colors. You still have the same like amount of kind of dim light underneath here, but as you all follow these moose tracks, you come like full circle, and you're in the same clearing where you followed that moose. And once again, let me get a perception check from everybody.
So this is where we started.
Yep, looking up in ahead of you, Faint, you see that there is a brown moose directly in front of you all.
Oh, we fucked that up. Let's try again.
Maybe we should try heading deeper into the woods instead of following his tracks.
Yeah, but we do that. We're just guessing. There's a chance we might come across it, but if we follow his tracks, we know for a fact we're going to eventually come across another white moose's tracks at some point.
True enough.
You know for a fact because a stupid beast told you something. So when you all are ready to, if you want to just go like after something in the wild, we can go back to Zaps and Kansas rolling survival. That's just like traveling like free and hoping you run across something else.
This could take a long time. I don't have any idea, like if mooses have lairs or I get. I don't think they have dens or anything.
No, they just kind of meander about, and whenever they get tired, they just kind of find a spot to lay down.
Let me get a survival from you, Kansas. So, shortly after kind of leaving that area and moving in another direction, you spot another set of moose tracks, and you're able to track those. Let me get a d6 from you.
5.
Let me get a perception from everybody here. So, as you all are tracking these moose prints, after some amount of hours, kind of getting deep into the night, and you're starting to get the sense like you're going to need to lay down and actually make camp here in the woods and try to start this next morning. You all are going to start to hear the sound of like a woman crying, a woman wailing, and she seems to be in a dreadful state. Maybe just a little bit further away from you all. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. But what's your initial thought as you start to hear the sound of a woman wailing?
That there shouldn't be one out here. That it's probably a trick. I'm going to tell the others in case they haven't heard that there is a woman wailing.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's still a thing, right? I mean we're getting pretty tired, but don't think that she'll still be there in the morning. So do you want to check it out, or do you want to just ignore it? Bearing in mind, there's two things out here we're looking for: a moose and a magical fucking shack. So a woman whaling doesn't fit into either of those two categories, but we know very little about the shack, so could be a shack that sounds like a woman crying from time to time for all we know.
Maybe we should go and check, but if we do, we need to make sure we are on our toes and prepared for whatever comes next.
I'm going to stand up on my toes.
Yeah, let's go check on with Zubs.
Okay, Jamie, you in on that or what?
Sure. We'll go check and see if there's something up here.
So you all are pushing forward, starting to investigate the sound of this wailing woman in the forest. Is anybody creating any sort of light, or are you going on the light that is coming in from the sky?
Uh, yeah, I'll use the only magical tinkering I have for today, and just hold up a rock out of my bag and make it shed light.
While we're doing that, I'll hold up a torch as well because I don't need a free hand. Sorry, I mean, technically I don't need to hold a dagger.
I'm going to tell the badger to go and investigate the source of the noise. I don't expect this to work.
I'm guessing we're not allowed to apply any knowledge we know about this exact situation from previous campaigns.
It depends. What are you thinking about right here?
Well, we
You
came
can
across
ask
knowledge
to make
before.
checks. If you
Oh,
know what
fair
you're
enough.
walking into, you should be asking to make a check right now.
I don't know how I'd frame it, to be honest with you. Hit the whiskey pretty hard tonight.
Do you know the creature
Um,
that you're walking into right now, Josh?
I can't remember its name there, but I remember it's fucking bad news. And basically, a crying woman thing comes across as
Banshee?
Ask, does
yes.
Faint know anything about?
Yeah. Does Fate know anything about? Yeah, I think you're right. It was either a Wraith or a Banshee last time. So that does Fate know anything about those?
So let's have all of you roll history checks. Actually, we can start with Faint, because yours is actually with advantage. And then everybody else will follow if you're relatively high, but not high enough.
Well, my history's not with advantage, and it's -2. But yeah.
That is, again, one of those points. I want you all to ask questions to engage yourselves.
Right.
But yeah, I would say
I was
with
gonna
that,
say
Faint has
if I
never been
fail,
told stories of it, and that's part
okay.
of leaving Elven culture a little bit too early.
Actually, shit, I can't use my psychic reroll, can I? If I'm not proficient in it, I don't think. Let me just double check. I can't fucking find it. Why can't I find it in my character sheet? I'll see it from time to time.
I think it's all under those dice, under features and traits.
Yeah, it's where I'm looking, but I can't quite see it. Oh, Cybolster's Knack. So if I click it, yep. Yep,
Beautiful.
so I have to have proficiency. I don't have proficiency in history.
Yeah, so I would say then you do not understand that this is a banshee that you are walking towards. So Faint's holding up a torch, and you've got a little lit up rock with your little 5-foot radius. And what are you telling the badger? Why is there not a badger on the board if you have a badger? Drop your
It's
badger!
really tiny.
Drop your badger!
I'm telling it to go closer to the sound and see if it sees a woman, a human woman, or anything.
Well, thing is, though, is we feel as though this situation is ominous and mysterious. Do you really think a badger is the best thing to have in a situation, or do you think that something that can fight might be more useful than a badger?
Well, a badger can go in and find things out and come back, whereas like a giant elk is really obvious and people notice it.
All right, fair enough, but I mean, you can make my next character sheet tomorrow.
Well, we'll go and see if the badger will go and find out if there's anything suspicious. And if the badger comes back and says there's something suspicious, then we can switch
All
and
right,
probably get a rat.
you do you.
Roll
So
a correction.
as Kansas sends her badger off, it starts to like waddle off into the distance until not long afterwards. Do you have any sense when it dies? I don't think you do, but your badger's going to die.
No, I don't think I do.
So you all wait like 15 or so minutes. Badger never comes back. Let me get another round of perception checks from you all. Kansas, you're pretty sure that the sound of the woman has gotten closer, and with 15 minutes of no badger, that badger should have been back by now. You probably don't have a badger anymore.
All right, I will see if something else shows up.
Badger, 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 badger.
Have you guys seen that famous YouTube video from about 20 years ago? Not YouTube, internet video, the badgers.
The honey badger video? Yeah.
No, not the honey badger one. I'll find it for you now.
Zaps doesn't have any idea what this thing is either, right?
No.
All right, stand or haul ass. We got to figure it out now.
What if I see if I can get an elk?
It's kind of hard to believe that's something I found entertaining
Oh,
in
great. It got
2001.
worse.
Friends, we're wasting time. It's time to decide if we're going to stick with this or if we need to leave.
Leave is good. We'll leave.
I mean, I know we
Leave
should
is
leave,
good.
but our characters don't know that. So, what do we think the characters would do in this situation?
You
Oh,
all
her
can
back.
roll insight checks.
Yeah, please. I would love to.
I don't think it should be rough for a character to understand that a lonely woman in the woods is probably not the type of thing that you really need to be jumping towards.
I think we should leave quickly.
This is very suspicious. And also, we only have a giant rat.
Well, she's in trouble and she's got cookies.
Friend?
Mm, might have cookies, but I don't. That seems awful suspicious.
Well, our DM just invested time into making this combat.
I'm not sold on it. This is a TPPK combat.
I know.
The last group
It's
I
so
had walk into this situation, I TPPK'd them and it fucking sucks ass. Everybody failed the Constitution saving throw. Everybody.
Well,
Oh, wait. If it's Constitution saving throws, I mean, I've got advantage on that.
That doesn't exist, but good try. It doesn't fucking matter though. You can still fail.
I know.
And one verse Banshee is no better than everybody's just dying outright.
Yeah, no shit. I'm for getting the hell out of here. Like, run.
I was gonna say, I feel like with a 17, is that going to allow Faint to have my same opinion of getting the fuck out of here? Because it's obviously not going to go well.
Yeah, to me, that's far more you guys deciding. Like, you guys know the situation here. It shouldn't be a secret. When I say a woman is crying in the middle of a forest, that should yell Banshee at you.
It did, but I didn't want to metagame. I'm going to dip the torch into the snow to extinguish it, and then put it back in my bag, and then wave to the other two and gesture as if let's leave.
Yeah, I'm going to extinguish the stone and just start hauling ass after Faint.
okay, I'll start running. I mean, basically, we're looking for a moose, and mooses don't sound like that.
These
So, how long do you think you all are going to run for?
I mean, I guess until we stop hearing the crying, and then we wait, and if the crying starts to get, we start to hear the crying again, and to basically run again.
All right, so you all stop after like 5 minutes.
let's pause. Let's catch our breath. Listen, and if we start to hear it faintly in the distance again, then we keep going. Right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Going to set in and try to sleep at this point.
No, we're just gonna wait 30 seconds and see if we can hear the crying again after 30 seconds or so.
Roll around to perceptions.
And ahead of the perception is just to say before I see any of the rolls, one different tab is that my suggestion will be, regardless of the outcome, and that we keep walking for another 10 minutes or so away from the direction, just in case it wanders towards us in the night. So now I'm going to roll on perception. Just you, Kansas?
Tap into the secrets of the universe.
Whoa. That makes
So
up for your
y'all
level
are
ones before.
listening to the wind. Doesn't sound like you hear any cries on the wind. Seems safe enough.
Right, let me stick to the plan. We keep moving, we keep walking for another 10, 20 minutes away from here. Keep moving into the forest in the direction away, because just because we can't hear it now doesn't mean it's not trying to catch up to us.
I agree. A little more distance wouldn't hurt.
I don't think this has anything to do with a moose, though.
It absolutely has nothing to do with the moose. So let's walk for what we feel like is 20 minutes away from this direction. And then when we get there, that's when we'll start to bed down, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So who's going to take the first watch?
I'll take the first watch. Me and the rat.
Roll a perception.
Whoa, you killing it. 3 20s in a row?
That's 3 20s in a row.
Yeah, tapped into the the senses of the trees and stuff. I know what the snowflakes feel like.
So hanging out with your rat, you are spending some time in the snow, and seems like a nice kind of relaxing night so far. The the wind and the like blizzard are kind of picking up. You're like having some like kind of snowflakes falling through the actual canopy of the forest here. But overall, seems like a pretty calm night and doesn't seem like anything to worry about. Roll another perception.
Damn.
So your next hour with your cuddly little rat goes by, and the snow is still pretty bad. It's still coming down pretty hard. Um, if you sat still for those 2 hours, you're probably like layered under about like an inch or two of snow. But overall, everything feels pretty good out here in the forest. You don't seem to hear anything that seems unnatural at present. And as things kind of go by, it seems like a pretty solid evening, and you feel pretty much ready to wake the next person. So, who do you think you're going to get up here?
I'm gonna wake up Zaps. Hey, hey, it's your turn. It's really nice out. No wailing.
All right, all right, all right. I'm up, I'm up, I'm up. And I'm gonna go back to where she was sitting and pull the steel defender with me and kind of just tuck up beside him, using him to block the wind.
Using warmth, the cold metal.
Oh no, I'm just using him to block the wind.
So, roll your perception. Hanging out here, and everything seems nice and calm. There's still snow coming down from overhead. It sounds pretty horrendous, like outside of the actual lonely wood here. But overall, doesn't seem to be anything making weird noises around you all. You don't seem to hear any screams from in the air. Everything seems pretty good. And one more perception.
That is a 6.
Snow picks up, kind of like lulls you into a little bit of a sleep here. And after like a little bit, you feel pretty confident that you've taken your time on watch. And then Faint's probably finishing up with his meditation pretty soon here, that you should be safe to kind of gather him up and give way. And at some point, you're going to see his faint stands out of his meditation and will kind of come over to you, and you're like almost in a dream but almost awake, and he can kind of give you a little bit of a shake and send you off to sleep.
Thanks, friend. My eyes were starting to get heavy there. Keep the
Yeah,
dog
yeah,
with
yeah.
you. He doesn't require sleep, and he's pretty vigilant.
Yeah, and I've never seen him shit, so pretty good overall. Right, I'll take the rest of it for the rest of the night because I don't need any more sleep.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just tell the defender to stay with him and keep an eye out.
Very kind. So how many perceptions is that?
Just start with one right here.
Ooh, back to my true form.
Starting to roll like me.
You've missed out on so many years of me rolling like shit, bro.
So there's strong snow coming down. The winds overhead are pretty crazy. And kind of sitting back in this wilderness, it's pretty relaxing, and you kind of like just fade back into your little bit of a meditation and just kind of rest on the idea that the steel defender is beside you and keeping a pretty solid watch. And you're kind of just delving around in your mental space, not really losing track of things, but definitely not as present as perhaps you should be. But the fact of the matter is everything is a struggle inside of these winds. All of that like noise that's coming down, and most of the forest is just like sporadic little rays of light shrouded in otherwise darkness. And things go by, and you're just kind of relaxing into that meditation. Roll another perception.
12.
So as things kind of progress through your watch, you're just kind of sat back, watching off in the distance, trying to keep a little bit more present in the moment and not giving as far into the actual like lull towards a meditation. And as you're kind of keeping track of things and looking around and trying to keep an eye on the different like spouts of light that are kind of jumping out through these trees, just looking over the group, keeping track of everybody. After a few moments, you're going to see where the steel defender pops up and starts to look off into like the northwest of you. And as you kind of glance off into that direction, you see staring back at you, there are two red eyes that are about like 8 inches apart, and they're just gleaming directly at the party. What's Fate doing?
I'm gonna wake up the other two straight away.
What are you doing?
Screaming like a little
I'm.
girl.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll psychic whispers them both, and I'll just shout through psychic whispers. Get up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Gotcha. Burn it. Roll the die.
Yep, doing it now.
roll on the long rest for yeah, because I got the long rest in, didn't I?
No,
So.
no, you do not have your long rest. You are still
Oh, I
taking
thought.
8 hours. You just don't have to sleep.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, fair enough.
Nope,
Doesn't matter. I'll do the die then.
matter.
I got 4 of these
Everybody
bitches
gets
anyway. Doesn't
their
matter.
long rest at the same time.
Okay, done.
All right, so what's the haps? Are we awake or what?
Did you roll the die for how long it lasts for?
Sorry, 1 second. I think my headset's disconnected.
I think my headset is connected again now. Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, my headset. I think you must have still been able to hear me through the laptop's microphone, but I couldn't hear you. There we go.
And what are you saying to them?
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! There's a enemy, glowing eyes. Wake up!
Which one first?
I guess Zaps.
So roll a performance with advantage, and then zaps a perception.
17.
He does not wake up. And then roll a performance with advantage, and then Kansas a perception.
15.
Got to get a 5. So Kansas wakes up.
Why? It's not morning yet, is it? I can't tell it's so dark all the time.
As she wakes up, I'm assuming that was out loud because you were waking up and probably don't know to talk in your head.
Yeah, was out
You
loud.
are going to hear footsteps as this thing is going to start charging towards you all.
Uh-oh.
So let's have y'all roll initiative.
Does that
Don't forget.
include me? Because I'm still out.
You are still asleep. You can roll initiative, but at present you are not going to participate in the first round.
Don't forget to let your token. Hey, you did it. Well done.
Yep. I managed to drop my token on the map and roll initiative. This is going great today.
Character development.
Only taken a year and a half or something like that.
I psychically whispered to Kansas. So, what brings you to the tent town? I'm joking. I'm joking.
So, Zaps is still asleep, but like the Steel Defender doesn't need to sleep. So, does it do anything?
When he is incapacitated, it indeed does.
Yeah, the only thing it can actually do without me giving it an order is take like the dodge action. That's
When
it.
you're incapacitated, though, it can do anything it wants. You are currently sleeping. That is incapacitated.
Oh, okay. So it might attack. It might do nothing.
So it's got free will?
Only partially. But it is a lot of like intelligent mounts, like trained mounts, are in a pretty similar stance. If their person is there, they dodge or do what they're told. If their person is unconscious, they become more or less their own independent actor. So the moose is going to charge forward into the group, and it's going to go to the steel defender.
Okay. Can I have it run over and try to like wake me up?
100%.
Yeah, that's
Do a
what I'm gonna do.
performance with the steel defender, and then you're doing a perception with yourself.
And then perception for me.
Yep, you basically need a 14.
Fucking Christ, low rolls.
Yeah, at this point, basically, Zaps. I think you had second watch. Yeah, so it's like you're coming off that second watch. You're just exhausted, like passed out hard at this point. So it's going to go to Kansas.
So has the bag of animals reset?
Negative. It is still nighttime.
All right.
But you do still have a rat.
What am I supposed to do with a rat?
It's a giant rat. Do something with it.
All
Better
right,
than
I
not
will.
having a rat.
Okay, having a rat's great. I will tell the rat to run in front of the moose and distract it from us, and I will change into a wolf. I'm pretty sure that's it for me.
So the rat's going to do nothing.
Well, why isn't it running in front of the moose?
It's not that intelligent, Jamie. You have the ability to basically tell it attack or run kind of shit.
Not run in front of the moose?
I mean, you can tell it to run in front of the moose, but that's why I said the rat's going to do nothing.
Okay, attack the moose. That'll distract it.
Excellent. Great choice. So roll an attack with the rat.
Don't forget as well, at the end of your turn or during your turn, you can speak out loud.
Yeah, but it's not going to understand any better.
Someone in the group might understand in here.
So you all see as the rat runs up and starts gnawing on the moose's ankle.
Yeah,
And I think that'll go to Fate.
All right. Just double checking I've got anything else that I've missed. I haven't. So, I imagine this will probably take an action, but I'm basically going to move to Zaps. Arms under the armpits, hoist him up on his feet, and go, "Get up, it's fighting time."
Good idea.
And I'm going to say that out loud as well, just to double down on the rousing stuff.
Yeah, just do like each of you like performance with advantage and then perception with advantage from him.
Wouldn't that just wake him up?
He's got to roll a 3 on 2 dice. I don't think a DC of 20 is difficult for waking people up. It works 99% of the time. That is like one of the best sleeping through being woken up. I like that function of having people roll for it. So what else is Fate thinking here?
Did that consume action?
Yeah, you're basically grappling him to pick him up.
I should have just shouted. It would have not consumed anything, but no worries. I'll move. I'll hide, because I've got to hide first, haven't I?
That's what gave you all double advantage, though, is the point.
Oh, fair. All right, I'll hide, and then I'll move over here and
Gotcha.
hide in this foliage.
Roll that stealth.
11.
The moose is going to kind of rush over into Zaps, and it is going to throw Antler. Yeah, I think Antler then Hooves at Zaps.
Am I still out, or did that finally wake me up?
Nope, you are standing and awake right now.
Oh,
A
thank God.
moose falls on you.
I'm within 5 feet of the defender, and so is the moose, so disadvantage on that.
Which one? I don't think it has the ability to do two things. I think it consumes its reaction to give disadvantage to a attack.
Hooves. Yeah, it says the defender imposes disadvantage on the attack roll of one creature it can see that is in within 5 feet of it, provided the attack roll is against a creature other than the defender.
Oh, my bad. That was the antler. So 11 hit.
No, an 11 does not hit.
And then the hooves as well will miss as it tries to swing at you with its antlers. And then the defender is able to like bite down on one of the hooves and kind of pull it back as it tries to rear up to slam into you. And it's going to go to Zaps.
Reaction to seeing it. Well, I mean, I just woke up, so I'm just going to scream and just firebolt this thing from point blank range.
Disadvantage?
Really? It has disadvantage?
Casting a spell in combat is indeed disadvantage.
Yeah, unless you got Warcaster.
I do have Warcaster.
I don't believe Warcaster gets rid of that.
Oh, I thought it did.
Yeah,
We'll Google it.
Warcaster gives you reactions. It doesn't get rid of the fact that attacking at close range is still disadvantageous.
okay.
Just cast the spell. Just roll the dice. Let's see if it even matters. So swinging out, it hits. Doesn't even fucking matter. That's why you gotta just move on.
Okay.
Works for me either way. Bonus action, I'm going to command the dog to do the bite. That's a big ol' miss.
And it's going to go to Kansas. You are the wolf. When you go to attack, you have advantage.
Because pack stuff.
Yep, nothing about Warcaster negates the disadvantage for trying to do range attacks in combat.
Yeah, you're right. You just looked at it then.
Trying to bite into it, you are able to grasp down on it. This thing is extremely sure-footed, and it still is able to be pulled down to the ground. Actually, wait, +4. Yep, it is still able to be pulled down to the ground.
Hey, does the rat get to bite it?
Did you tell the rat to attack it last turn?
Well, I told the rat to attack at the very beginning.
Of last turn?
No, before that, I think. I don't know. I'm a wolf now. I
My
can't talk.
point is yes, you told the rat to attack it. The rat is going to attack it. The rat also bites down into it.
Rat does a lot of damage.
Then it's going to go to Feint.
All right, so straight roll for an attack since it's prone, right?
No, it's able to see you. You are not hidden. It has a higher perception than yours hide right there. So you are still at disadvantage.
12. Yeah,
That's gonna miss.
I'll go again then.
Wait, no, I'm wrong. My bad. This one is lower armor than that. That is still a hit.
Okay, so 16 damage then. And then I'll bonus action hide and move. Then my turn.
The moose is going to charge towards Feint. Opportunity attacks from the other 4.
Okay. I'm going to use Firebolt for mine. And the dog gets one as well, correct?
Indeed, it's its reaction.
Well, dog does really well.
As it like charges past you, there's just like gouts of blood that are like spurting away. The rat does not move up to it. That are like spurting away from the moose as it's running off towards Feint, and it is going to try to gore at him with its antlers. 16 to hit.
I think it hits. Just double check. Yeah, meets.
Alrighty. This is gonna do a shitload of damage. 20 damage piercing as it slams into you. And I need a
Great.
strength saving throw.
Natural 1 for 3.
So you're going to fall down, and then it is going to slam at you with its hooves to kind of like slam you a little bit harder into the ground. Dear Lord, that was not the right die. That was frightening. Slightly different, the other end of the spectrum. And it's going to deal 12 more piercing, bludgeoning damage as
Okay.
it slams down into you with its hooves. And that will go to the Steel Defender.
Right, that's exactly my hit points. So all of my hit points in one fucking turn. Fucking sneaky character bullshit.
18 and a 19 for its perception checks. Last turn and this turn.
Found whatever.
Steel
down.
Defender.
That's actually my turn again.
Indeed, I know.
Okay. Holy shit. So he's like out, knocked unconscious, right?
Fate
Yeah, it's
is
fine.
down on the ground. The moose is
Exactly,
severely bloodied.
Okay. I'm gonna run up to it and just whack the hell out of it with the warhammer from behind. And then bonus action, have the dog run up and bite him too.
Solid crack into the back of the thigh. You see as this thing starts to kind of like falter a little bit on its foot. Dog's able to like tear the sinew away from its back legs. Its back legs are next to useless right now. Kansas, what are you doing?
All right. I run up to it, and the rat runs up to it. It's a big thing. We all fit. Okay, so I'm gonna bite.
You've got advantage, and you're gonna tear out the innards of the moose as its organs just like flow out of this wound as you tear through the stomach, and this thing's going to collapse down to the ground.
All right, the rat's gonna burrow inside and start chewing. Be very happy.
I'm gonna run over to faint as soon as this thing drops and cast cure wounds on him.
Yep, he's got one death saving throw, can't possibly fail to die, so you will be back up to 6 health. As you wake up, you will see this crazy moose and all of your friends standing around you.
That was scary.
All right, I'm gonna change back into I was gonna say human form, but that's not possible. Into regular gnome form.
Thanks, Zaps. I appreciate it. Not sure what happened there.
Hey, you feeling better now?
No, I'm fucked up, man.
I believe he's feeling like he just got ran over by a giant fucking moose.
Okay,
Beforehand, whacked with the horns here.
that probably hurts a lot.
Hurts an insane amount. Well, at least we fucking killed it. Get its meat and then sleep and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's skin this thing and get what we can get off of it. Take a rest and then haul ass back.
All right, I can cast a cure wounds on him.
Who's going to clean the moose?
I guess we do it together. Think of.
Yeah, how big is this thing?
To the two of you, it's fucking massive. What is it? A moose weighs up to like 4,000 pounds. So it's probably 10 times the entire group put together. It's like a small semi truck.
Which is why it hit like one. Jesus.
Well, it got its charge attack, which is effectively a crit. If that first one had crit, it would have been 8d8. But the second one crit, so it was 4d4 as well.
So realistically, if that thing had went the other way, his character probably would have been dead.
Yeah. If the charge attack had been crit and it was 8d8, that's likely going to do more than 32. Maybe not an auto death, but the hooves would have done 2 death saves to him, and then he would have had to roll a death save before you would have had a chance to get to him to cure wounds. But I don't think I don't think without the double crit that was like an auto death.
Okay. I'm gonna help Kansas skin this thing.
So let's have the two of you do survivals.
There's an awful lot of moose here.
Mace.
Fucking meese.
Take it from someone that's a man of the world. It's the plural of mooses and meese, I believe.
You know, listen, geese already scare me, so I'll take it.
Well, I think this thing can call itself whatever it wants when it's trampling you.
So
Very
how much meat do you all want to recover here? What are you looking to recover from this moose?
I want the pelt and some meat.
Faint, let me have you roll a insight with advantage.
11 again. My fucking
With
311.
advantage, though. With how
Yeah.
vehement Nimsy was, that head's probably pretty worth a hefty amount of money. With how vehement she was at denying that the moose would exist.
Yeah, that little MILF will probably appreciate this moose head, so if we take it, it might prove to her that she doesn't need to worry no more about shit, you know? Natural
I,
causes and that.
I think the pelt itself is probably going to weigh a few 100 pounds. So what level of are you ready to carry that?
How much can the defender carry?
I hate that character so much. The defender can carry its strength times 15. So what is that?
It's got a 14 strength.
So I think that's like around like 240-ish.
How much did you say that pelt weighs?
I don't know. I've never skinned a moose.
I don't think it'd be more than 240, man.
They
The head
they
probably.
are semi trucks. Like, have you ever seen a moose? They're
I
fucking
lived in a
gigantic.
I lived in Alaska for almost a year and actually went
Then you
moose
gotta
hunting.
know that that's a fucking lot of skin.
Yeah, I know.
Head probably
I'm
weighs that much.
Looking at about okay, so they're about 2,300 pounds or 1,000 kilos for a female.
big moose hide. I just googled it. They're saying roughly 100 pounds.
That sounds like absolute bullshit. Did you say raw? I'd say if you're going to do the moose hide, it can be the entire weight that the steel defender is able to carry. It can't help with anything else.
Ah, fuck it. Just cut me off like a quarter of it. That way he's got some extra room to help if we need it. Interesting story about him. Funny story about a moose. I once saw one knock an F-250 over.
What?
When I was living up in Alaska, I saw a fucking moose knock a F-250 over on its side. Mara's right. They are fucking huge. Like, people don't realize they're terrifying. I'm more scared of moose than I am of bears.
A moose, the scariest animal you get in the UK is a badger. So
All right, F-250, gross vehicle weight, 10,000 pounds. Maybe it's like, I don't know, balance? Something. Yeah, that'd be heavy. Though, I knew somebody who said as he was like a weightlifter guy, and so he would compete in pulling cars, and he said it's not as hard as you think it is.
well, yeah,
Well,
once you get
center
them
of
moving.
gravity helps, but
Yeah, this thing came from the woods. We were on the highway sitting at like a dead stop because someone had gotten a wreck or something. It came from the woods running full fucking tilt, hit that truck, tipped it up onto its side. It didn't knock it all the way over, but it tipped it over onto its side, like shook its head and took the fuck back off. They're scary animals.
Oh yeah, for
so
sure. Like with inertia behind him, it's got momentum. Yeah, mass equals velocity. Yeah, so it would have absolutely, 100% would have done that.
hanging weight of a moose is approximately 60%. So you all could take up to about 1,200 pounds of meat from this thing. You could say we'll go with the human idea that like 10% of the body weight, maybe say 15% is the head itself. If you all want to claim the head, that'll be what, like just under 300 probably.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we
345 for the head.
yeah, I definitely say we take the head with us. We can try to rig it up to the defender and help him, and I can help him drag it or whatever we need to do.
Well, I was going to say, why don't we drag their head with some rope around the antlers or something, and rest their head on something so it can slide a bit more easily. Like if we got maybe the pelt, so we can use that to reduce the coefficient of drag. It would easily weigh 10% that much for the cost of dragging it. So that would be the easy way to carry the head. And then if we want to take some meat, then we're good.
The dog can do 215, 210.
Yeah, and then I
Yes.
can help him drag it. My
Yeah,
strength's 15.
I was gonna say I can help too with 14 strength, but yeah, I can help pull. So head on a pelt attached to a rope or two ropes for me, you, and the steel defender. So one attached to steel defender, and then me and you pulling the other rope maybe, and then yeah, we'll drag it that way. But we should get this head back, prove it to the town speaker, and then maybe they'll be a bit more loose-lipped about potentially the Black Lodge. So
Yeah, I think proving that we took it out is good, but I'm trying to picture how much a gnome could help with towing this giant thing along.
What's your strength?
Strength is 11.
So about 165 pounds of pulling.
Also, what could you possibly wild shape into that has a high strength? Just saying.
Or pull out the bag to pull. Imagine if you
Yeah,
pulled a great elk out.
well, it's not morning yet.
I thought you still had one left, didn't you?
Nah, I did two badgers and a rat.
Okay.
It was not a good day for that.
Well, it's been days when you've had two giant elks, so everything can balance.
Yeah, right. And I've also had the panther. That's been cool. And the boar.
still doing better than me, though. I finally got angry about rolling shit after 2 years, or a year and a half of rolling shit, so you're still beating me there.
I could change into a brown bear, maybe. Can I do brown bear? Or is that too big for me? Probably too big.
Was it you got like challenge rating 1/4 at this rate?
Yeah, it's CR1. I could turn
As a
into
brown bear, you have to be higher level.
I could turn into a part of a brown bear.
Just the ass.
Yep.
I think your end game is basically that you can become a brown bear, like the CR2.
Depending on what circle she chose.
She's not Circle of the Moon.
Fuck. Okay, so finish packing this shit up. Try to haul as much as we can towards the town.
Yeah, you think the speaker will acknowledge the fact that there was a giant moose if we show up with a giant moose?
Probably not. So have you all decided what you're taking from this thing?
I think head on a rope on the pelt so it can slide, and then yeah, I don't think we can take. Can we take any meat on top of that? I'm guessing we may be able to take a few handfuls, but that's it.
So head in the pelt, you guys are looking at like 680.
Between the three of us. So that's probably pushing it.
All of you also have your gear, so you already have that weight. The dog is the only one that is like straight without weight. You guys can manage it, it's just you go slower. But what are you taking? Make the decision.
Pelt head and then have Jamie grab as much meat as she can.
Sure.
What's your carry capacity at, Jamie?
See, 15 times 11
Like
is
120 pounds?
well, it's 11 times 15, right? So isn't that like
You
161?
have 40 pounds on you. It's 165.
Oh, okay, minus that, right. So yeah, whatever you said.
I feel like that's probably like the backstrap of the moose. So are you all heading back to town now and you'll sleep like later? Are you all going through exhaustion? Or are you all like gonna camp out like hostile and spend some time like snuggling up with moose innards?
I think we got to camp out some.
I agree. I think it'd be best if we took a rest before we decided to crack on.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm up for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think we should go for we'll finish off our rest and then head off when we're all ready. His head's not going anywhere, is it? So that's the main thing.
Agreed. And whoever's on watch, my friend here will stay with you.
Well, I don't need any more, so yeah, Steel Defender and I can sort it out. You two want to carry on, and then we'll be good to go in a
It
few hours.
resets everything. The combat resets everything. All of you have to
Yeah.
do it all from the start.
All from the start, it is, then I guess.
Yeah, so you have to have two of them watch while you meditate again.
Sure.
That's fine. I'll take first watch.
That'd be nice of you.
So get a couple of perceptions from you.
All right, there's the first one. You want another one?
Go for it.
Oh, wow. Big ol' fucked on that one.
So you are eventually going to kind of be woken up by a little bit of snow like falling up your nose while you've fallen asleep after your watch. Everything seems to have gone by seamlessly. Everybody's still here, and you can wake up the next person.
I'm going to walk over and just kind of shake Jamie awake and tell her it's her turn.
Is it morning yet? How do we tell here?
I don't know. All I know is I can't keep my scaly ass awake, so you're up. Good night.
Sure. So,
Roll a perception for me.
oh, that's great. Well, it makes up for the other ones. I'm gonna like walk around, um, everybody, kind of stomping through around to keep myself awake here.
All right, so you're going to walk around paying absolutely no attention to your surroundings, just kind of like stroking your little rat until eventually the rat disappears. Let me get another perception from you.
Well, I'm gonna try
A
and pay
one's a
attention.
one. Yep, you didn't pay attention regardless of what you're trying to do.
Well, I would try to pay attention. I'd just be unsuccessful at it. I blame it on
So,
the everlasting snow. Also dark.
as you're continuing to walk around in pacing these circles around the group, you can eventually go off to Faint. As you start to see Faint coming out of his meditation, he's going to grab your attention and kind of notice. You're pretty sure the gnome is pretty much sleepwalking. And at this point, it can go to Faint for perception.
Or hopefully it's not shit, so I don't rage again. There we go.
Nice.
So there's been pretty strong snows through most of the night. There's like a red pile of all of the blood from the actual moose here, and kind of sitting around the group. You just have a pretty calm, seamless evening. Doesn't really sound like anything big's going on. The wind's still kind of roaring up above. But another perception. Kind of hanging out as the snow seems to be at least starting to slow down. It's hard to figure out. There could be a lot of snow just on the trees up above that's still kind of being pulled down from the wind, but seems pretty calm. One more perception.
There's that 11 again.
Yeah, 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 20. It should be an 11. They're gonna happen. So as you sit here watching around over everybody, everything seems pretty calm. You're starting to see the actual aurora overhead a little bit stronger, where the light is at least a little bit more kind of like to what has come to be natural in this area. And one more perception.
15.
As you are watching this last little bit, knowing that at some point here everybody should be starting to awake, you're going to start to hear the call of wolves on the wind. And first you'll hear a howl, and then off from the west you hear one respond a couple of minutes later, a good bit fainter. And over the next 20 minutes, you hear them getting closer and closer. What's Faint thinking?
Does it seem like they're rested?
100% no.
And I just shake the steel defender and go, "You ready? Give him a chance." And I just stay quiet and I stay still. And I just keep listening. But stood up ready. And between Fate and Fate between Kansas and Zaps to wake him as soon as I see wolves nearby, or at least sense that they're getting close, whether that's through sight or hearing or what.
Roll a D100.
9.
Over the next 6 minutes, you have a pretty strong sense that those wolves are indeed closer. The closest of the howls probably has covered maybe half the distance of where it was before. The furthest of the howls is getting close to the same strength as the closest. So the strongest and the weakest of the howls are starting to kind of converge at the same distance around you.
All right, I bury the head and the pelt under the snow. So actually, do I do that? My mindset is that if I protect them so the wolves can't smell them, and then get the other two out of here so they can carry on their rest, and then that'll stop the wolves from gnawing on the head and the pelt. But at the same time, I know I'm going to roll and shit, so they'll probably discover the head. So I'm just thinking.
Stop being so negative.
What can I do? What can I say? I'm a negative person.
It's horrendous. Just try to think of creative and fun things.
All right, I'll tap the other two awake, and then I'll say, right, we're dragging this head out of here. Leave the rest. The wolves will eat the carcass. Just drag this head. We'll go in. There's wolves nearby, and we're going to move, and we're going to keep going, and then you can finish your sleep in a minute.
Lizard can't ever get a good night's sleep. Let's get this shit on the road.
So drop the head on the pelt, hand out the ropes, and I gesture away from the direction I heard the howling. I was like, "This way to go."
If you all don't want to ruin this sleep, you can't drag anything. You have to just go on basically in the highest relaxation. With the idea that you carry 30 times, your steel defender can take the head and the pelt. If you guys bug out with the steel defender carrying the head and the pelt, you can basically get out of here, leave the carcass for the wolves.
Let's do that then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sure.
So y'all can bug out and say in those last few moments before you are kind of getting out of this area, you start to see the first of the wolves that are starting to converge down on where the moose carcass is. And you all can head off back towards Lonelywood.
I think for now, the direction away from the wolves is a smart decision, and then we can go back towards Lonelywood once we're in a safe distance. Do you reckon that's a good idea?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we have to go back to Lonelywood so we can tell them we cured their moose problem.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll some survivals from Zaps in Kansas, please.
Seems like I only roll well during combat, which thank God.
That's better. I mean, that's what we want, right? Whereas I can perceive things like snow.
Rolling well outside of combat prevents combats too, though.
Yeah, that's true. But clutch situations, I'd rather save my rolls for those.
Like, I think if both of you rolled under 5 there, you guys were probably about to walk into wolves, trying to get away from the wolves.
Oh, shit.
Like another set?
Like, there's a lot of wolves in a forest when you guys butcher a moose and then sleep next to its carcass.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that.
So you all can kind of push off and start to head away from the like impending wolf threat. And as you're kind of moving along, it doesn't take long for Kansas to basically understand at this point you all are close to the southern edge of the forest. If you wanted to put a little bit more effort into it, you could get out onto the trail between Lonely Wood and Tourmaline and make a little bit better time than traveling through the forest. Otherwise, you all can stick to the forest.
Well, yeah, we want to go on the trail. Why wouldn't we? Am I missing something?
Are you going to tell them or are you just going to take them to the trail?
I'm going to point at the trail and go, we're going this way because it's easier to walk on the trail than in the woods.
You're not like at the trail, but you know that it's nearby.
Right. I'm going to point to it and
Gotcha.
move that
So
way.
let me get another survival from Zaps in Kansas. So it takes you a little bit longer to get to the trail that you know is there, but after a few hours, you all follow your way off into town. And assuming that you are going to go directly for Nimsies, you guys can head off towards the town speaker's house and knock at her front door. Probably about like early to midday ish. I think Faint probably would have spent about 3 of his hours of watch after the actual rise of the aurora overhead.
So hang on. So what's it's just the next day, is it? So we know that much at least.
Yeah, but you guys are like early to like midday ish because
All right.
you basically watched as the aurora rose, which is sunrise, and then they still slept for a little bit longer, and then you all have traveled for a few hours.
All right. Cool. So does that mean, are we still technically exhausted? 'Cause I know we got like 6 and 6, so we didn't get 8 at any
So
point.
not doing anything, you are able to get by with that.
Oh, okay. So at least we know it's not an unsociably early hour. So we may as well knock on the door and then do our business and then go and stay in the inn. I know the risks are there, but it is what it is, isn't it?
So you're just gonna walk up to the door and knock on it and pretty much be like, "Hey, look at this."
Yep.
Surprise, motherfucker. Sunrise, motherfucker.
Cool, I'm
So
in.
you're gonna knock on the door, and there's just gonna be a moose head in front of you.
Oh, well, with us, we got the moose head behind us. Like we're at the door. The moose head isn't. The moose head's behind us. It goes door, us, moose head in that like rank.
So when you all knock onto the door, you'll just hear from inside, hello, hello. You can come in. I'll just be one moment.
It's probably best we don't come in right away. We've got something out here we can't really bring in.
Coated in blood and gore.
I'm absolutely covered in blood. I'm on 6 hit points.
No, you guys would have had the long rest still.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll do that now.
So after a few moments longer, like after hearing that, you see is like Nimsy like pops her head out. Holy shit. Yeah. Bring that to the back. Come back here. Get off the get holy shit. And she like looks over at all of you all. Get off the street, please. Come to the back of the house. Go around. And she'll just like point off to like the east. Go around that side. I'll meet you at the mud room.
Yeah,
Holy
no worries.
shit.
We've been in this exact situation before, and I fold the pelt over the top of the head. All right, meet you around the back.
Also, Josh, you're at 19 hit points. Kansas hit you with a cure wounds too.
Oh, thank you. So we've got long rest though. Does that mean I'm back though?
Yeah, but his point was is you were not that bloodied for that long.
Oh, sorry, I missed the Kansas one. Thank you very much as well, Jamie. Thank you very much, Chase and Jamie.
Well,
It's very kind of
you
you.
were just mostly bloody, and we're still covered in goo.
Oh, absolutely. There is blood everywhere still.
With 2 massive fucking hoof prints on your chest.
At that point, it just wasn't his blood that was like freshly seeping out.
Yeah, we got him pretty well taken care of. I don't. What's your max HP?
A whopping 32.
Fuck, you got me beat. I'm supposed to be like a fucking support tank.
I know, yeah. My constitution's 16 though.
That's pretty healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that I may as well get some in case there's on the off chance I take a hit. I can keep kiting and keep staying away, and then use bonus action disengage to keep doing that. But uh, there we go. A moose happened.
Well, it went after you because you look the most dangerous.
I look the most tasty.
My least. I smelt the least of fish.
So are we? I assume we're following her to the mudroom.
Yeah, well, no, we're going
No,
on the
she's
outside,
sending
aren't
you
we?
around the side of the house. But yeah, when
Yeah,
you guys go around to that side, you'll see there's a back door here. And it's basically just like a kind of like an attached little like barn. There's like tools and things inside of it. It's still chilly, but it's large enough that you guys can actually like get the moose head inside. And she's like, "Mm, you all were never here. You never saw a moose. But I'll give you a
Hey,
hundred gold."
we took care of this problem for you.
There was never a problem, but I'll give you 100 gold for that problem. It never existed. You never saw it. You were never here.
I mean, I'll take the 100 gold, but
and then I'll psychic whispers, and I'll do that on my character sheet now to the other two, and go. We're in a position here where we could ask her for some more information. I mean, we've kind of like gotten ourselves where we can agree that there's something afoot. She's in our favour. I'm not going to turn 100 gold down, but maybe there's more, or maybe she'll tell us more now we got her in this position. Not looking to blackmail her, but we can always say we've got a shitload of moose meat and a white moose pelt. What do you think? I'm Australian now.
I mean, okay, outside of game, real quick. I'm pretty sure the DM is telling us we're gonna just have to search for the damn hut. We know it's up in the north, but nobody's gonna know for sure where it's at or really
It
have
is
any information.
100% a mystery that you guys have to find.
100 gold it is.
How the hell do you track a hut?
You go look for it. What else were you thinking though, Chase?
I was gonna say we can try to squeeze more fucking money out of her for sure. I mean, fuck this lady. She's been a pain in the ass.
She gave us cookies, though, man.
Okay, 100 gold and 2 dozen cookies.
Sounds pretty fair.
All right, 100 gold sounds good, but what do we say to 2 dozen cookies?
Roll a persuasion.
As well as the gold.
Oh yeah, that was implied. Hold on to your horses. Here comes my +0 persuasion roll.
7.
She's gonna like glare back at you when you say like the butt. You drive a tough bargain. 18 cookies.
All right, that's fair. I accept that. And also our silence in exchange here.
So she'll bring you all inside and um yeah, let's see.
I just say psychically as well, the other two.
We still got more questions for this woman, like why she was being silent, but yeah, let's see where this goes.
I don't have the cookies made right now, but I do have that trout your little friend Kansas wanted yesterday. You all can enjoy some trout while I bake some more cookies.
Hey, question: would anybody be pissed if I asked for it at a gym and used it?
What are you gonna use it for? Or from?
As long as that gem's worth 100 gold, I don't mind it at all one bit.
I want to make
Dear Lord, what's the actual fucking gem?
it. Just says gem or crystal. Doesn't matter.
Haven't we already got at least 100 gold's worth of like tourmaline and shit?
Yeah, but I know those were specific. I didn't know if Ezekiel needed them for his revives.
I think he needs 300 gold's worth of diamond for a revive, doesn't he? And I don't think we're quite there yet.
We had a bunch of other stuff too.
So let's boil it because I'm Smash Man. So boil it down for me. So we either are looking for enough diamonds to do a revive, or are you looking for a specific stone for all of those things, or is each of those things a different stone?
Oh no, this is one big thing. It's an infusion I can do called a homunculus servant. I was thinking it'd either be good for Jamie or Ezekiel to let them use it as an infusion because it can channel a touch spell for them and it has flight.
Yeah, it's pretty good for like, yeah, it's good for some shit. But does it again? I'm stupid, so or faint stupid. I'm very clever. Um, does it require a specific stone?
No, just a gem or a crystal.
So how much tourmaline do we have? I added it to my inventory, so let me check.
I don't think anybody has been paid in a single crystal. The only crystal that fits that is the diamond that is worth like 340 gold.
Well, we can't use that because Ezekiel's using that.
Yeah, obviously not.
For some reason, the tourmaline in my inventory is set itself to 8 gold's value, which I know it isn't true. So let me just. I remember it was
Oh,
half
no,
of what.
I did that. I did that.
All right, why? Because I remember it was worth more than 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you have multiples of them.
Oh, okay. So let me check. 7, is it?
Yeah,
I'm just
originally you guys got, I think, 7 of them were 7 gold. And I was like, fuck it. Let's do 8.
All
Because
right,
you
so it's
all
worth
also know that
56.
everything that you get that you set a value on, a value is a flowing thing. If you try to sell tourmaline in tourmaline, you're going to get a lot less gold than it's worth because they mine tourmaline. If you sell scrimshaw in Lonelywood, you're going to get a lot less gold than it's worth here. Um, like scrimshaw in like the Sword Coast is cream of the crop. That shit is fucking money. take you a moment to get 25 gold for that goat. If you spend like a week, you could probably get 50 gold, kind of thing. And that's one of the things to keep in mind is like trying to acquire stuff where it's from. It's easier to get, like, if you guys are looking for 100 gold tourmaline, inside of tourmaline you can probably get that for 100 gold, kind of thing. Anywhere else you're going to pay a premium.
All right, I'm cool. We'll find the gem later on.
I mean, if we take the gold, we can always, double back via Tourmaline and get a good deal on some.
Yep.
Yeah. And the cookies.
Deal. Carry on. Faint's got to go and lean against a tree for a second.
So she will offer you all 30 gold coins and a collection of scrimshaw coins, or you can take she can do 30 gold coins and a collection of gems, or she can do 100 gold coins.
Let's just do it all in gold coins, I would think.
Yeah, easiest to trade out in other places.
Go for it. Y'all can write down 33 gold coins apiece.
So, you've paid us for the job. What are you going to give us for the pelt in the head?
That was for the head.
Do we
I
get to
think
keep?
he's trying for more.
Do we get to keep the pelt?
You're welcome to keep your sheepskin.
Would you be interested in purchasing it? Make a wonderful rug for your not problem.
I could give you some scrimshander for it.
How about a few gold pieces for it? Or some of those gems you were offering earlier.
I can give you scrimshander for it.
Yeah, pass. I'd rather walk around town with my new white wolf moose pelt.
I agree.
And I say psychically to the other two because I've got it cast. If we show the white wolf, fucking hell, fuck my life. If we show the white moose pelt to the bartender, might loosen his lips a bit, you know.
What, to give it to him?
No, just to prove that we've gone taking care of the moose. Because at the moment we've got no evidence of that. He probably won't believe us. So we take it to him, show it to him, and then maybe we can use that as a bargaining chip instead of exchanging on what we know about the Black Lodge.
I doubt he knows
Why?
anything, but sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, nobody's going to
He
know
isn't-
anything about the cabin.
He is an information broker, and the moment you didn't want to share about the cabin, he just wanted to know about what you were talking about.
It's information that we've killed the moose.
But why is that valuable? It isn't.
I would 100% disagree with that because he knows his town is plagued by the moose attacks and that woodsmen, etc., are dying and shit. So if we prove that the moose is no longer a threat, that's extremely valuable information to literally everybody in the town that there's no longer a white moose out there to worry about. And he has evidence.
Sadly, the person who disagrees is the person who has to roleplay that NPC. I don't know what information you are trying to get out of him that you expect him to have that a white moose pelt is going to share with you.
Well, we just know that he has information. We don't know what it is, and he wouldn't share it with us. And we are currently without any leads on a direction for the Bat Lodge. All
You
we know
have
is that
a direction. Go off into the wilderness and search.
which wilderness
That's awful vague.
exactly.
It's almost like nobody who is alive knows about this cabin.
I mean, I just picture, wandering around lost for several years looking for this thing because we have no idea.
Don't wander in circles.
I say to what was her name, Mimsy.
All right. The only problem is, though, is if we walk around town with a white wolf pelt, people might be like, "Whoa, is that a white moose pelt?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then even though we don't tell them, "Oh, we've killed a white moose," they might ask questions because you've already bought our silence, but they might make up their own assumptions based on a white wolf moose pelt walking around with. So, what's the white moose pelt worth to you?
I'll buy it from you in Scrimshander.
How much, Scrimshander? What are we talking? As long as we don't have to go and collect it from the Scrimshander woman.
She'll pull out a collection of about 7 beads.
A what?
The beads we've been paid in beads before, Scrimshaw beads. I say psychically to the two.
So what do you reckon? Is this a fair deal, or do you want to see if we can swap them beads for a gem for you, Zaps?
I think it's all we're gonna get from this place.
I've already said I won't pay in gems. You all had the choice to take less gold before and take some gems or some Scrimshander. I've taken all of my coin. What do you want for the pelt?
All right, then beads it is.
So she'll give you all 7 of these Scrimshander beads. There were 7 gold apiece.
All right, I'm carrying the Tourmaline, so if somebody wants to carry the Scrimshaw, either yourself, Zaps, or Kansas, and then we're good to go. And may I just say, Mimsy, as well, aside from all this, it has been a pleasure dealing with you. I'm happy we could help, all things aside,
If you
business aside.
ever try to force me into a deal again, you may find your throat slit here in Lonely Wood. Be weary of those people you try to strong arm.
All right, I was just being friendly and doing business at the same time, but I respect
You were
your
threatening me with forcing the issue of the moose after I bought the head from you as a generous way to remind you that the moose was never a problem, you all were never here, and you never fought or killed a moose. And moments later, you tried to use it against me. That was very uncouth of you.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I gathered that completely. I knew what I was doing. I was doing business. I just wanted to say, business aside, it's been a pleasure. But regardless, we shall head on off.
She'll slam the cookies down in like a little wrapping of linen, and you can 100% tell all of the cookies are broken.
Do we still have that psychic whisper thing up?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% whisper to Faint. Don't eat those fucking cookies till we check them. Everybody here's a murderer of some kind. She just threatened to slit our throats. Those things might be fucking poisoned.
True, but she made them for us before I strong armed her, so
Doesn't take much to put a drop of poison in something. That's all I'm saying.
all right, let's take him with us, and then we're rested. We could head on the road, head on out
She's
towards where
the
we think the
one
lodge will
nice
be.
person I have in this town, and you've got to try to strong arm her?